Chapter 201. Chapter 201. Resting at the shallow beach while lending GU worms. 5 days ago, Fang Yuan rebirthed at Qingmao Mountain. Back then, he worked together with Bai Ningbing in the blood barrier, and after his slaughter he obtained much post-battle loot. But these GU worms all had injuries in them. For the past 5 days, Fang Yuan had been floating around Zhang Mountain, so they lacked food and all died consecutively. For healing GU worms, Fang Yuan always lacked one, and he did not find one he liked either. A pity my GU worms all died in the self-detonation. Otherwise, I would not be injured to this extent. Bai Ningbing sighed towards the sky. But Fang Yuan laughed. Don't be too pessimistic, not everything needs GU worms to be resolved. Oh, Bai Ningbing looked over with a questioning gaze. He saw Fang Yuan secretly activating his primeval essence, shooting something out of his mouth as a red light appeared. A flower GU resembling a lantern, rotating on its own and floating in midair. It was the two-seed flower. Fang Yuan willed and the two-seed flower glowed in red as several objects flew out of it while wrapped in bright red light. There were bandages, medicine cans, and small medicine bottles. Small medicine bottles contain powder that can disinfect and diminish inflammation, you just need to use a little. In the medicine cans, there is medicine paste that can stop bleeding and form clots. You should know how to use a bandage right. Fang Yuan, on saying so, split these items into 2 and gave a portion to Bai Ningbing. These are all methods used by mortals, but I did learn about them in the academy. Bai Ningbing received them, pouting, you sure planned ahead. Saying so, she then opened the large medicine can and a disgusting smell rushed up into her nose, causing her to jump back and scream, why is it so smelly? Fang Yuan laughed, not replying. He took off his shirt, pouring the powder from the small medicine can, causing his wounds to feel a sharp burning pain like fire. Next he opened the big medicine can, where inside was the mud-like medicine paste that was a blackish green and smelled horrible. But Fang Yuan was used to it in his previous life, not even flinching. He took out a handful of blackish green paste and spread it on his wounds, his actions being extremely refined. Next, he used the bandage and wrapped it many layers over the wound, quickly taking care of his injury. Because of the medicine paste, the injury area felt a cooling sensation, quickly replacing the fiery pain felt earlier. Your paste is quite useful. On one side, Bai Ningbing was still taking care of her injury as she gasped. Her robe was torn, and after applying the medicine, her breasts and nipples were almost exposed, but she did not have any reaction to it. While using the medicine, she even sighed, thinking about it now, if only we had a healing GU, that would be great. Fang Yuan took a look at her before activating the two-seed flower and taking out 2 sets of clothes. He had prepared sufficiently, having intended to leave the village in the first place, so he bought many sets of clothing. Plus Bai Ningbing and his age were quite close together, as they had similar body size, his clothes suited her well too. Take this. He handed a set of clothes to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing took the clothing, and chuckled, feeling slightly shocked, to think you prepared to this extent. Precaution averts perils on the safe side, Fang Yuan replied casually, taking off his remaining clothes and even his drenched socks, into new sets. Immediately, with new clothing, he felt much better. Bai Ningbing also changed her clothes, throwing the torn white robe on the beach. But her expression was not looking good, for although they were out of danger at the moment, after changing clothes and bandaging her injuries she also noticed the changes to her body. What do you plan to do from now? When are you returning the Yang Jiyu to me? She walked up, frowning as she asked. Fang Yuan picked up the black robe and socks that he changed out of. Didn't I say it before, we are going to Bai Jiyu Mountain now. As for that Yang Jiyu, at least wait until I am rank 3 first. Bai Ningbing frowned even more tightly, her pitch getting higher, I have to wait until you are rank 3. She had never thought that one day, she would get into such an awkward state. A proper man, transformed into a woman. After the crisis of life and death was over, this strange sensation entered her mind. If possible, she did not want to endure it for even a second more. Fang Yuan raised his head and looked at her, not speaking. He walked to the side of the river and used the water to wash his clothing. Although there were holes on his black robe, it could still be fixed, unlike Bai Ningbing's white robe. He did not know how long he would need to stay in the wilderness, so he could not afford to waste the clothing. Bai Ningbing was a smart person, and Fang Yuan's silence made her realize her true predicament. Right now, she had rank 3 cultivation but not a single GU worm. Even if she had, she could not do anything to Fang Yuan. The Yang GU was refined already by Fang Yuan, so as long as he willed it, it could instantly detonate itself. The yin-yang rotation GU was a pair, and if it was destroyed, Bai Ningbing would never be able to return into being a male. Looking at Fang Yuan's back view, Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth, feeling extremely frustrated. To think that she, the Bai clan genius, had gotten into such a state, manipulated by others. This feeling caused the arrogant and prideful Bai Ningbing to feel extremely unhappy. Now we do not have a healing GU, so if we get into danger, what can we do? The problem is not just that, but I do not have a single GU worm with me, I have no fighting strength. No, I have to capture some wild GU worms and refine them, otherwise I won't even have any strength to protect myself. Bai Ningbing was rambling on when her stomach suddenly started growling. Damn, she held her stomach, feeling a strong sense of hunger. Hey, guy who was washing clothes, take out some jerky, I'm starving. While floating in the raft for 5 days, they relied on Fang Yuan's jerky as food. Although the jerky was tough, with the texture of wood when chewed on, it could fill the stomach and provide energy. Fang Yuan stood up, using his hands to wring the water off the black robe, shrugging it around before answering Bai Ningbing, why are you so anxious? Hold this. Bai Ningbing frowned, taking the black robe in reluctance. Fang Yuan called out the 2-seed of flour again, taking out a bag of jerky. Bai Ningbing grabbed it immediately, chewing on the tough meat. She chewed until her jaws hurt, but she was extremely satisfied. Fang Yuan looked at her, smiling. When did this Bai clan genius ever starve before? Thinking of his previous life, he knew exactly how she felt. Bai Ningbing ate another piece of jerky, licking her dry lips. This reduces hunger, but is way too tough. Sigh, having meat to eat, it is already a huge blessing. Fang Yuan's smile became even more intense, for under Bai Ningbing's astonished gaze, he took out an iron pot. You even brought a pot. That's great, we can use water to cook the dried meat. We can just take water from the river, but we need firewood to start a fire, so we'll have to chop down some wood. Saying so, Bai Ningbing looked around, feeling troubled. They were at a shallow beach, with one side being water and the other being a tall cliff. On top of the cliff was dense vegetation, but there was not a single piece of wood on the beach itself. Bai Ningbing wanted wood, so she would need to climb up the cliff and chop the trees. If this was back when she still had her GU worms, it would be a piece of cake, easily done. But now that she had nothing, wanting to climb up this slippery cliff was too tough. Bai Ningbing felt troubled secretly, but at this moment Fang Yuan took out some coal stones. Coal stones were better than wood, and Bai Ningbing was naturally surprised when she saw this. Soon after, Fang Yuan took out some kerosene and flint as well as a metal rack. Soon, he set it up. On seeing this, Bai Ningbing became serious, her blue eyes staring at Fang Yuan. Your preparations are way too much, did you already have had thoughts of leaving Qingmao Mountain long ago? Fang Yuan's preparation was overboard. With him bringing even these things, the smart Bai Ningbing found something amiss obviously. What do you think? Fang Yuan smiled, not answering her, but pointing to the metal pot. You can go get some water now. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth. Fang Yuan's attitude was annoying her. She took some water, while Fang Yuan had already started a fire. First he got the water to boil in the pot, then he threw a bag of jerky inside. Soon after, the smell of fragrant meat could be felt. Bai Ningbing sniffed, subconsciously licking her lips. Fang Yuan took out his chopsticks and ladle, and started having a feast with Bai Ningbing. The cooked meat was soft and could be easily swallowed with a few bites, while the boiling meat soup caused the two to feel warm on the inside. The only problem was that this river water had some sand in it, giving a gritty texture when eating. But under such situations, having such treatment was already nothing to be displeased about. I'm not that full yet, let's cook another half bag of meat. Bai Ningbing was not satisfied yet, saying as she touched her tummy. Fang Yuan immediately rejected, no more, we have to conserve our food. Why so stingy? See this forest behind us. How many wild animals could there be? Bai Ningbing said in displeasure. Fang Yuan gave her a stare. Of course I know there's animals in there, but that also means wild beasts. How many wild beasts can you take care of now? What if we meet a beast group? What if we get ambushed by wild GU worms? Even if we kill the wild beasts, if their meat have poison, can we eat it? Can you differentiate between poisonous GU worms? Bai Ningbing stood dumbfounded, unable to retort. Fang Yuan snorted. Bai Ningbing was the Bai clan genius, so she naturally was full of utter arrogance, thus this was enough already. If he continued lecturing her, she would hit her limit. He sat down cross-legged, taking down the pan and hanging his black robe on the metal rack, using the residue heat from the coal stone to dry it. Fang Yuan continued, "It's getting late. Let's stay here for tonight and continue exploring the forest tomorrow. I specially chose this area with cliff on 3 sides, so there would be little wild beasts that can reach us, thus this is relatively safer. But we cannot be complacent, let's keep watch in intervals." This was the benefit of having 2 people. Fang Yuan willed, and summoned the chainsaw golden centipede and sky canopy GU. "These 2 GU worms, I'll lend them to you for the time being. Get familiar with them," Fang Yuan said. He was only a rank 1 initial stage cultivation, so it was near impossible for him to use a rank 3 GU worm. Even with a grade recovery speed in the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, he could not display the true power of a rank 3 GU worm. He might as well give it to the rank 3 Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing received the GU worm, looking deeply at Fang Yuan. Between GU masters, GU worms could be lent. In the GU worms, a GU master's will resides. As long as the master acknowledges it, others can also communicate with the GU worm and use their powers. Of course, it is not as convenient as a GU worm one refines personally. Also, as long as the original owner wills it and changes his mind, the others would immediately lose their ability to command the GU worm. But even so, GU masters rarely lent their GU worms to others. Although they were forced by the situation, Fang Yuan's actions were extremely unrestrained, and this caused Bai Ningbing to become alert. Chapter 202. Chapter 202. Crocodile Killing Intent, a Young Girl's Sorrowful Call. Chainsaw Golden Centipede. Bai Ningbing mumbled with a complex expression as she stroked the dark golden carapace of this rank 3 GU. She had suffered quite a lot due to this chainsaw golden centipede during her battle with Fang Yuan. Who would have thought that there would be a time where Fang Yuan himself would lend it to her? The way Fang Yuan used the chainsaw golden centipede had left a lasting impression on her. Bai Ningbing immediately copied Fang Yuan's method and waved the chainsaw golden centipede like a greatsword. From time to time, she willed the chainsaw golden centipede to lengthen or shorten, waving it around like a whip. The silver blades of the chainsaw rotated and cut through the air, producing a strange distortion of the light. Sky Canopy GU. She put the Sky Canopy GU in her aperture, and inwardly poured white silver primeval essence on it with her brows raised. Immediately, her body was covered with an armor of white light. Fate really works mysteriously. To think, there would be a day where I would be using your GU, she sighed while looking towards Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was silent, he was sitting cross-legged beside the warm coal with his eyes closed. His attention was on his aperture, where the full primeval sea of an A-grade aptitude appeared in front of him, 90%. His aptitude had only been just over 40%, and now it had increased by more than double. Although my cultivation has dropped from rank 3 to rank 1, with my years of hard work wasted, it is still all worth it. Fang Yuan was satisfied. In a GU master's cultivation journey, there were 3 most important things: aptitude, resources and GU worms. None of these 3 aspects could be lacking. Previously, Fang Yuan only had C-grade aptitude and had to resort to all kinds of means of resources and GU worms to try to make up for the deficiency in his aptitude. Those years spent in Qingmao Mountain had been quite difficult and exhausting. His cultivation speed had been pretty good, but that was the result of him exhausting all the means available to him and taking high risks. If his aptitude had been a grade at that time, he would have faced a completely different scene and be able to easily reach rank 3. Such a twist of fate. I now have an A-grade aptitude, but don't have the safe environment to grow up like in the village. Additionally, the resources and the GU worms I have now can't compare to before. Fang Yuan was now wandering outside his homeground, and with his weak cultivation he could face mortal dangers at any moment. This situation naturally couldn't compare with the safe and stable environment back at Qingmao Mountain. And of course, there would be no stable trading areas to exchange for mutual benefits. Fortunately, with the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, the greatest problem, that is resources, is resolved, so at least there will be no worries before I reach rank 3. Fang Yuan looked through his 90% green copper primeval sea, where a blue and white lotus had taken roots in the depths of his aperture. Its petals were healthy and plump, giving off a holy and immortal aura. This Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus was a rank 3 and had an enormous potential for development. Just to refine it, GUU Clan's foundation spirit spring had to be wasted. It was equivalent to a miniature portable spirit spring, and back when Fang Yuan still had rank 3 cultivation, it continuously recovered Fang Yuan's primeval essence, giving him the recovery speed of AB grade aptitude. Rank 3 cultivation possessed white silver primeval essence. Fang Yuan was now only a rank 1 initial stage with green copper primeval essence, With the heavenly essence treasure lotus in his aperture, his primeval essence recovery speed was raised to an extreme rate. If I only use rank 1 GU, my primeval essence recovery speed would be shocking and almost inexhaustible. Using 1 or 2 rank 2 GU worms might cause the primeval C to decrease, but the recovery speed would continuously balance it, causing it to be relatively stable. Using a rank 3 GU will exhaust the primeval essence very rapidly, and the consumption would far surpass the recovery speed. My primeval C would be thoroughly dry within few moments, Fang Yuan calculated in his mind. After all, he now only possessed green copper primeval essence, and that too was the initial stage jade green primeval essence. The quality was far too low. Other than heavenly essence treasure lotus, Fang Yuan still had other GU. First of all was his vital GU, spring autumn cicada. This rank 6 GU was numbered 7 in the list of mysterious GU. Once it turned into one's vital GU, it could no longer be taken out of the aperture and was now residing in the middle of the aperture. After going through another rebirth, its aura was no longer the same, its bright yellow-green light was completely gone and now looked dispirited and extremely weak. It was concealing its figure, and as time flowed, it silently absorbed time from the river of time and began another round of convalescence. Fang Yuan comprehended inwardly, I absolutely can't use spring-autumn cicada within a short period of time. In such a dangerous state, if I used it, it would be absorbed by the river of time and I would just be throwing away my life by self-detonating. Without the pressure from spring-autumn cicada, other GU worms could freely let out their instincts. 4 kinds of light flashed around the rank 2 4 flavors liquor worm's chubby body as it swam around the surface of the primeval sea, enjoying the moment. The carp fossil-like hidden scales GU calmly laid on the bottom of the sea, letting the primeval seawater cleanse its scales. A black beetle with a pair of iron pincers on its head was soaring in the air above the sea, it was the plunder GU. And similarly, spiraling with it and having a fun time was the white-armored Yang GU of the Yin-Yang rotation GU. Rank 4 blood skull GU was lying deep in the sea, bright red blood light occasionally flashing on its surface. As for the other GU worms, blood moon GU had turned into a red crescent imprint on Fang Yuan's palm, earth communication eargrass GU had turned into one of Fang Yuan's ears and wouldn't normally show up, the two-seed flower resided on Fang Yuan's tongue as a tattoo. Sky Canopy GU and Chainsaw Golden Centipede were lent to by Ning Bing. Calculating the numbers, Fang Yuan possessed a total of 12 GU worms. This was a truly big number. Generally speaking, it was normal for a low-level GU master to have 2 or 3 GU. When one reached rank 4 or 5, they would raise this number to 4 or 5. Even divine investigator Tai Shui Leng only raised about 7 GU. Do not be fooled by GU First Head or Lord Sky Crane, both were special cases and were old monsters with centuries of accumulation. The amount of GU worms possessed by Fang Yuan was 3 to 4 times more than normal GU masters. More numbers meant huge economical burden on the GU masters along with the pressure of managing and raising them. Fang Yuan may have chosen his GU carefully with most of them being easy to raise, but with the limited goods and resources in the two-seed flower now, Fang Yuan was under a huge burden. Facing the brunt of this burden was the 4 flavors liquor worm as its food was fine liquors. There was a lot of wine stored in the two-seed flower, but it would only be able to support the 4 flavors liquor worm for half a year. I need to find new source of liquors within these 6 months, or I have no choice but to reverse refine the 4 flavors liquor worm back to liquor worm. Next was the plunder GU. Plunder GU's food was difficult to find and the amount of the food stored for it in the two-seed flower could only last for 5 months. Then, it was the earth communication eargrass. Earth communication eargrass's food was ginseng roots, but thankfully there were a lot of it in the two-seed flower, enough to support it for a year. As for the blood skull GU and blood moon GU, both required blood which needed to be thought out properly. And for the yin-yang rotation GU, if they were intact and formed a complete Taiji light sphere, they would be self-sufficient in feeding on the transformation of the yin and yang qi. However, only yang GU was left now. Fang Yuan would need to take out some time to release it and let it absorb the yang qi in the air. Raising this Yang GU was very important. Only with the Yang GU could Fang Yuan suppress Bai Ning Bing, gaining a cheap bodyguard and a guarantee for survival. This signified that Fang Yuan couldn't casually enter mountain and underground caves. If by any chance were he to be trapped in a special situation where Yang Qi wasn't available, the Yang GU would die from starvation, and at that time, Bai Ning Bing, in all his fury and despair, would become the greatest enemy to Fang Yuan. All in all, Fang Yuan was in an awkward situation now. He had a lot of high-rank GU in his possession, rank 3, rank 4 and even a rank 6 GU. But the unfortunate thing was that he only had rank 1 cultivation at the moment. To him now, using the high rank GU was quite troublesome and inconvenient. The more crucial point was that he seriously lacked GU with healing and movement abilities. Now what I need to do is gather some wild GU worms and resolve these issues. If only I get lucky and come across a suitable GU, being able to escape from the shuttle swordfish groups could be considered my good luck. But there is no way I could be so lucky every time. After Fang Yuan sorted out his thoughts, he slowly opened his eyes with a grave expression. When he had just opened his eyes, he saw Bai Ningbing walking over with a white eggshell on his hand. Look at this, I was just trying out the chainsaw golden centipede and drilled the ground, but to think there is an egg hidden under this beach. Too bad it was smashed by chainsaw golden centipede, Bai Ningbing said. This egg was the size of half of a wash basin, and the white eggshell was thoroughly smashed and only some yolk remained in it. Fang Yuan only took a glance at this eggshell before his expression turned tense. This is bad, this is the egg of a 6-foot crocodile. Is this beach a breeding ground for the 6-footed crocodiles? He quickly stood up. Quick, use the chainsaw golden centipede and check if there are more of such eggs in this beach. Bai Ningbing's gaze shook and pointed behind Fang Yuan. It's too late, look. Fang Yuan turned around and saw hundreds of dead logs floating towards the beach from the river. The dead logs came ashore and revealed their true forms. They were all enormous crocodiles. These crocodiles had thick carapaces, sharp teeth and 3 pairs of feet. Right now, their bloodshot eyes were tightly staring at Bai Ningbing. 6-legged crocodile groups. Bai Ningbing subconsciously loosened her hand under the glares of the crocodiles. The white eggshell fell onto the sand, smashing further in the process, and what little yolk left in it seeped into the sand. Hiss. The 6-legged crocodiles hissed in rage before charging forward on their 6 legs towards the 2 youths. At the same time, in Qingmao Mountain, in the former site of Jiuyu village, snow covered everything and glaciers had formed everywhere. A group of people were standing on the snow like iron nails nailed into this white world. Father, Tai Ruo Nan kneeled down on the snow and shouted out her father's name with tears flowing down her face. 5 to 6 days ago, Tai Shuileng had an intense battle with the Jiuyu first head, but when he was at death's door, he kept his daughter's safety in mind and sent out the mountain giant puppet Jiu and iron fist grappling Jiu. The mountain giant puppet Jiu formed into a copper mask and covered Tai Ruo Nan's face, protecting her. The iron fist grappling Jiu turned into a giant hand, taking her away from the mess at Qingmao Mountain. However, these two had already been infected by the blood frenzy Jiu and had turned into a pool of blood not long after completing their tasks. Tai Ruo Nan rushed back to Qingmao Mountain in a crazed state, but on the way, she was besieged by a group of beasts. In the moment of her great danger, Tai family's reinforcements had arrived. They had come because of Tai Shuileng. Tai Shuileng always executed matters earnestly. Just to be safe, he had sent a letter for reinforcements to their clan. Tai Ruo Nan was able to rush here with the help of the reinforcements. However, the scene that appeared before her was a mountain filled with ice and snow where all the living beings were frozen, and there were no traces of her father. She and the Tai family reinforcements searched for several days and nights, before finally accepting the cruel reality. Divine Investigator had fallen, her father had died. Father! Tai Ruo Nan cried out with a hoarse voice filled with extreme sorrow like the wail of the wild goose. Chapter 203. Chapter 203. Each with their own objectives. Divine Investigator died in battle. This is the glory of a man of the Tai family. Lady Ruo Nan, my condolences, a young Jiu master behind her consoled. On the snowy grounds, Tai Ruo Nan kneeled as her crying voice became weaker, her shoulders shivering and her fists tightly clenched as the snow melted in her hands into water. The young Jiu master frowned, continuing, throughout the past few days, we have scoured the entire battlefield. We saw some traces left behind, and it seems there were a few that managed to escape this battlefield. Divine Investigator's letter talked about the Blood Sea inheritance. I'm worried that the demonic Jiu master who inherited the Blood Sea inheritance might be among these survivors. When Tai Ruo Nan heard this, she stopped crying. She stood up from the icy ground as the freezing winds blew, her haggard face showing determination. The feud of killing my father is greater than anything. Whoever the killer is, I will definitely find out the truth. The young girl's voice was hoarse, but when she spoke, her gaze and tone became very determined. The young Jiu master sighed, investigations definitely have to be done. Our Tai family people cannot die with injustice. But Lady Ruo Nan, you don't have to go. Before coming here, the clan leader already informed us to bring you back to the village safely. Tai Ruonan stared with wide-opened eyes. What, don't think of chasing me away. The young GU master smiled, looking at the sky. In the azure sky, there were several clouds floating. Tai Ruonan was about to argue some more, but suddenly her iris shrunk. You. Before she finished, her eyes closed and she laid on the snow softly, falling asleep. Guiyi, the young GU master called. Here, I order your group to escort Lady Ruonan back safely. Yes, Guiyi hesitated. Then what about you, young master? Me, I have to follow the Yellow Dragon River and chase after them, the young GU master laughed arrogantly. The waters from the Yellow Dragon River raged on and winds blew as several hundred six-legged crocodiles ascended the beach, attacking Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. Damn, Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth, feeling a strong pressure in her heart. If it was before, this crocodile group was nothing to her. One ice blade storm and they would be finished. But now, she only had the Sky Canopy GU and Chainsaw Golden Centipede, while also lacking the Northern Dark Ice Soul physique. Her blue irises quickly swept the environment as Bai Ningbing scolded, what a great place you chose. With 3 sides as cliffs, how can we escape? Why so frantic? It's only 100 beast group, not 1,001, otherwise we would be dead meat. 100 beast group means we still have a chance of survival, we can kill them all. Fang Yuan quickly kept his clothes, racks, metal pots and retreated behind Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan was extremely confident, causing Bai Ningbing's heart to feel slightly at ease. What are you staring at? Go kill them. Fang Yuan swept his gaze at her, urging, why else did I lend you GU worms? Don't forget I have the Yang GU. Bastard. Bai Ningbing stared in rage, her heart burning as she cursed. No one knew if she was scolding the 6-legged crocodiles, Fang Yuan or both. But no matter what, she held the Chainsaw Golden Centipede and rushed up. Buzz buzz buzz. Razors rotated violently as the aggressiveness of a rank 3 GU worm appeared, causing the 6-legged crocodile to halt in their steps. A group of ugly maggots. Bai Ningbing chuckled, rushing up and slashing. A 6-legged crocodile was hit on its stomach, crying out as sparks flew, cut into 2 by the razors. Fresh blood spewed on Bai Ningbing's face and clothes, as she felt the stimulation of blood, and intention of battle appeared on her face. Wishes wishes wish. Chainsaw Golden Centipede hacked and slashed, like a tornado passing through. 20 or so 6-legged crocodiles died in succession. The situation became better instantly, but Fang Yuan's expression grew dim, shouting loudly, avoid the 6-legged crocodile's back, and attack their stomach. Ha ha ha, what an aggressive GU worm, much better than the Iceblade GU. I like it. Bai Ningbing ignored him and laughed loudly. Even though she turned into a woman and was a jade beauty like an ice fairy, the moment she battled her male instincts would cause her to turn into a battle maniac. But eventually, her attacks started to become slower, and weaker. What's happening? Earlier, I could slash a 6-legged crocodile in half, but now even after 3 hits, I can only severely injure it. Bai Ningbing raised the Chainsaw Golden Centipede and looked, only to see that the razors were dented, and the sharpness was greatly reduced. She was born smart, immediately thinking of Fang Yuan's advice, clicking her tongue. A large 6-legged crocodile rushed up to her and leapt. It opened its large, bloody mouth, covering Bai Ningbing with its shadow. You are looking for death. Bai Ningbing moved her tiny body, raising the Chainsaw Golden Centipede and slashing at the 6-legged crocodile's belly. Pew! After a light noise, the 6-legged crocodile's belly was cut open, forming a severe injury. This unlucky 6-legged crocodile was still in the air as a large amount of blood poured out from its wound, and its intestines fell out. With a plop, it landed on the beach, dyeing the sand red. Its body twitched a few times before it stopped moving completely. It was completely dead. So easy. Seeing such effectiveness, Bai Ningbing raised her eyebrows in shock. 6-legged crocodile's back was tough as armor, but comparatively its belly was very soft. The white belly was their weakness. With 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan was clear of such information. But Bai Ningbing was born on Qingmao Mountain, never being outside and only had narrow education, thus she did not know much. Howl! The crocodiles cried out. After tens of crocodiles were killed, the wild beasts were infuriated and started to turn wild under the threat of death. Countless red eyes stared at Bai Ningbing in hatred. Wild beasts had limited intelligence. The lightning lichen had human intelligence, but it was an exception among the many species of wild beasts. These wild beasts would always treat the most dangerous enemies as the biggest threat, and the first to eliminate. As for Fang Yuan, who stayed at the back, they ignored him. Come, Bai Ningbing moved forward instead. She was not someone stubborn, and after that hit, she immediately changed her tactics. The centipede tail stabbed onto the beach as its body shrunk, then expanded and slashed at the field with the razors. Six-legged crocodiles, stomach were easily slashed, as blood and intestines spewed. Crocodiles after crocodiles fell as Bai Ningbing killed as she wished. At the rate this is going, the crocodile group will be nothing to be afraid of. What truly threatens me is not these beast groups, but Fang Yuan. As the situation turned better, Bai Ningbing considered in her heart, having second thoughts. The Yang Jiyu was in Fang Yuan's hands, causing Bai Ningbing to be restrained and she had to obey Fang Yuan. But he was the Bai clan genius, thus there was great arrogance in his heart. How could he resign himself to this? If I slaughter Fang Yuan, will I be able to get that Yang Jiyu? Bai Ningbing's eyes shone with coldness as a thought appeared in her mind. But once this thought emerged, it was rejected. She understood Fang Yuan like she understood herself. With Fang Yuan's personality, which was tough as steel along with his ruthless methods and meticulous thoughts, if he really was going to die, he would destroy the Yang Jiyu 100% of the time. There were no other possibilities. Moreover, I do not have a Jiyu worm at all. Sky Canopy Jiyu, Chainsaw Golden Centipede, they are all his. No matter what, I have to get my own Jiyu worms. Fang Yuan's lips curled, staring at the battlefield. Bai Ningbing's movements became slower while her eyes turned more shiny, and he saw all of it. Towards her little thoughts, Fang Yuan was crystal clear. He did not find it strange. He understood Bai Ningbing's predicament. He would have had the same thoughts if he was in that situation. They were both arrogant fellows. How could they submit to others and be another's puppet? But situations surpass men, so what if it's a genius? He. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. Fang Yuan was confident. With such a strong bargaining chip in his hand, Bai Ningbing was like a butterfly trapped in a net. It was natural to struggle at first, but eventually she would land in his palms, understanding the situation and becoming tamed, turning into a useful pawn piece. The battle continued. Large numbers of six-legged crocodiles laid on this beach. Bai Ningbing breathed roughly, sweating profusely as her attacks slowed down. Out of stamina, strength was always her weakness. When fighting Fang Yuan back then, many times did she have the disadvantage due to the strength of two boars. Now that she fought for an hour, her stamina was running out. After all, they did not sleep for almost 5 days when floating on the bamboo raft, and even after the rest, it was too short to recover. What caused her to be even more frustrated were those 2 lumps on her chest. Every time she moved, these 2 burdens moved along, causing her to feel very uncomfortable. Fang Yuan, are you not helping? She breathed roughly, calling. Saying so, she dodged the attack of a 6-legged crocodile narrowly, pressing on her weak knees and standing up. Fang Yuan said coldly, once I help, I will attract the attack of many 6-legged crocodiles. You want me to die? If I die, you will never get the Yang Jiyu. 3 6-legged crocodiles approached and Bai Ningbing had no choice but to retreat. She was tired to the point of fainting as her stamina reached its limits, and she saw darkness in front of her. The chainsaw golden centipede appeared even more heavy, constantly dragging her towards the ground. She gritted her teeth. Fang Yuan, if I die, can you live? Rest assured, I am behind you. Fang Yuan rested his back on the cliff, as he willed and a blood moon Jiyu flew out of his palm, flying towards Bai Ningbing. Take it, and use it well. Blood moon Jiyu originated from moonlight Jiyu, so Bai Ningbing was very familiar with it. With just a few uses, she got used to it and the bright red moonblade stabilized the situation. But good situations did not last, and although Bai Ningbing regained her footing, her primeval essence was starting to become insufficient. Chapter 204. Chapter 204. Carapace Jiyu and Crocodile Strength Jiyu. Ordinary rank 3 Jiyu masters, to deal with beast groups, they have to employ kiting tactics. Using primeval stones to recover their primeval essence, Bai Ningbing's method of facing them head-on and lasting until now, was already outstanding. If a Jiyu master's primeval essence runs dry, their battle strength will drop down to rock bottom. Bai Ningbing started to look back at the cliff behind her, wondering if there was a way to escape. When she saw Fang Yuan's casual expression while he was leaning against the cliff, she flew into a rage, scolding, Fang Yuan, I fight at the front lines, yet you watch the show behind me. Fang Yuan snorted. The former Northern Dark Ice Soul physique, the grand Bai Ningbing, can't even deal with 100 beast group. Bai Ningbing was exasperated. If you have the guts, then you go and fight. Fang Yuan laughed coldly. If I had rank 3 cultivation, it is enough to eliminate all these 6-legged crocodiles, why would I need you? Bai Ningbing breathed loudly, smoke coming out of her pores. Fang Yuan said seriously, Bai Ningbing, I can tell you're used to fighting without restraint. You are a former Northern Dark Ice Soul physique, but now that you are a grade with 90%, if you still keep fighting like that your primeval essence will definitely be insufficient. An outstanding GU master will use their primeval essence in the most efficient way, never wasting a drop. From now on, battle according to my instructions. Your fighting method is too crude, you have to be more meticulous now. Huh, Bai Ningbing's lips twitched, my battle method isn't meticulous enough. Do you know how many times the clan leader and elders praised me, for being the #1 skillful fighter in Bai clan? What's there to compare with a bunch of scrubs? Listen closely. Bai Ningbing laughed coldly 3 times, but Fang Yuan continued talking. His voice entered Bai Ningbing's ears. At first she was indifferent, but eventually, her expression changed. It went from disdain to seriousness, and finally, turning grave. Fang Yuan's words hit the nail right on the head. There was profound meaning in every word, perfectly describing her inability. This was the collection of his 500 years of life, the essence left behind through the accumulation of time. How could it not let this youngster, naive and innocent, be extremely shocked? Fang Yuan lived for 500 years, so he was as sly as a fox. His experience was something not even first gen GUU or Sky Crane Lord could match with. These 2 old geezers lived for almost 1,000 years, but most of their life was spent in deep sleep, retaining that last breath of theirs. Their true, living, phase, was merely 200 to 300 years at most. If it was any other time, Bai Ningbing upon hearing Fang Yuan's advice, would merely take it as a joke. She was a proud arrogant genius, even if she was shocked, she would not follow suit. But now, facing the crocodiles, pressure, her body could not help but execute what he said, and it showed an immediately effect. 6-legged crocodiles continued to die, but her situation improved by leaps and bounds. Her primeval essence and stamina were depleted, but once she started using them carefully and reduced her meaningless attacks while increasing her attack effectiveness, it caused her primeval essence and stamina to slowly recover amidst battle. 15 minutes later, after at least half the pack of 6-legged crocodiles were injured and over 200 corpses on the ground, they finally stopped attacking and started to retreat. Soon after, a large body appeared from under the water. It had 2 rows of sharp blade-like teeth. Its yellow vertical pupils reflected Bai Ningbing's body as it emitted a cold-killing intent. This was the 6-legged crocodile king. 100 beast king level, Grand Crocodile King. Different from other 6-legged crocodiles, this crocodile king was larger like a yak, and it did not stand on 6 legs, but only moved with its 2 hind legs. It walked like humans, with a back as thick as a bear, and a scaly tail dragging a line across the beach. The other 4 feet that were free, were in a claw shape. Resembling 4 arms, they were thick and the muscles were tough as rocks. Bai Ningbing could not help but laugh bitterly. If she was fighting this 100 beast king alone, she could win. But now that she had undergone an intense battle and there was little primeval essence and stamina left in her, she could not deal with this 100 beast king who was in perfect condition. But at this time, Fang Yuan's voice came from behind her, catch. A blue and white light entered her aperture, turning into a lotus and rooting deep into her aperture sea. Immediately, her primeval sea level started rising. Bai Ningbing was surprised and overjoyed. What GU is this? Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, Fang Yuan said. So this is the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. No wonder first gen GU wanted it. Bai Ningbing sighed again, then scolded, you have such a GU, why didn't you lend it to me earlier? Fang Yuan chuckled, talking while minding his own business, thankfully this is only 100 beast king. Remember, its weakness is that white skin near the chest. Saying so, his body faded like ripples on the water surface, and he slowly vanished. He activated the stealth scale GU. Scheming and cunning, Bai Ningbing scolded, before focusing her gaze on the Grand Crocodile King. Only to see that on its chest, there was indeed a white skin, but it was only face-sized, and was protected by its 4 limbs. How could she strike that area easily? Howl, the Grand Crocodile King growled, before rushing at Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing could only rely on herself and roll around desperately, evading the hits and flicking her wrist at the same time. Chainsaw Golden Centipede smashed on the Grand Crocodile King's back. Sparks flew as the Chainsaw Golden Centipede was rebounded, almost causing Bai Ningbing to trip from the impact. There was a white scratch on the Grand Crocodile King's back armor, but other than that it was unfazed. Howl, it swung its tail, and winds flew. Bai Ningbing only saw a black whip approaching, thick, large and long. She could not evade it, so she was only able to activate the sky canopy GU. With a bang, she was sent flying, landing tens of meters away. Afterwards, she slammed on the tough sturdy cliff walls. Bai Ningbing was in so much pain until she drew a deep breath. Sky canopy GU is a rank 3 GU, having great defense, but it could not reduce the force from impacts. Bam bam bum. The Grand Crocodile King's thick strong legs left a strong imprint on the beach as it charged towards Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing's eyes shone. Seeing the Grand Crocodile King's attack, she did not move. The Grand Crocodile King came crashing with its imposing aura, flashing its claws. If it was any other person, they would be scared shitless or run away in fear, but Bai Ningbing was after all Bai Ningbing, possessing an iron will. 20 steps, 15 steps, 10 steps, 5 steps. Seeing the Grand Crocodile King was near, at the final moment, Bai Ningbing leapt. Bam! She narrowly evaded the Grand Crocodile King, and the latter crashed into the cliff walls, as large amount of debris fell and buried it. A beast is a beast after all. Bai Ningbing laughed loudly, about to chase after it, but suddenly thought of something and stopped. The next moment, the Grand Crocodile King's tail swept and sent the debris flying all over the place. Bai Ningbing observed silently, and a moment later the Crocodile King finally got free. It was in a desperate state. Half its teeth were broken and blood flowed out of its nostrils, its golden pupils also turned red. It growled furiously at the sky and lowered its body, rushing towards Bai Ningbing at an even faster speed. Bai Ningbing retreated, smiling as she dodged. Bam! With a huge bang, the cliff walls collapsed, and smoke flew everywhere. An hour later, the injured Grand Crocodile King covered its white skin in futile, as blood continued to ooze out of its wounds. Soon after, it plopped on the ground, on the beach that was completely wrecked by the battle. This Blood Moon GU is pretty useful, huh? With that bleeding effect, I can kill that Grand Crocodile King so easily. Bai Ningbing looked at the red moon insignia, thinking in her mind. After the Crocodile King died, the remaining 100 six-legged crocodiles lost their drive and morale, escaping into the river one by one. Finally over, Bai Ningbing shook the chainsaw golden centipede on her hand away, sitting on the beach in exhaustion. Fang Yuan's figure came out of the shade, squatting at the Crocodile King's corpse and searching. Found it. When he took back his hand, there was one GU in each of his palms. Bai Ningbing, seeing this, breathed heavily in anger. She fought so intensely with the Crocodile King, finally killing it and chasing the crocodile group away. But the unscathed Fang Yuan came out to collect the battle rewards instead. Fang Yuan took a close look. These two GU, one was almost dying, but still struggling. It had a turtle shell, around palm size, but its protruding surface was covered in crocodile scales. The carapace GU, another was uninjured, but was not moving at all, letting Fang Yuan squish it with his fingers. The crocodile strength GU. It was very small, smaller than a finger. It was like a mini crocodile, with head, body and tail, but did not have any legs. Both the carapace GU and the crocodile strength GU were rank 2 GU worms. Normally, 100 Beast Kings have rank 2 GU living in them. In the 1000 Beast King, there was rank 3, and in the Myriad Beast King there was rank 4. As I expected, Fang Yuan, seeing the 2 GU, did not feel strange. He was experienced, and after observing the battle, he had seen through the Crocodile King's abilities. Immediately, he leaked a little of the Spring-Autumn Cicada's aura, and refined these 2 GU with his primeval essence instantly. The carapace GU flew to Fang Yuan's back, forming a large-scale insignia, like a tattoo. It extended from Fang Yuan's shoulder to his waist, covering his entire back. As with the name, it was a GU that could enhance the defense of a GU master's back. Crocodile strength GU turned into a dim yellow light, entering Fang Yuan's aperture. It was similar to the black and white boar GU, able to increase the GU master's strength permanently, by the strength of a crocodile. It had high market value, normally a precious GU worm without any available in the market. This again, instantly refining a GU worm. Seeing this, Bai Ningbing could not continue but be furious, as her pupils dilated to pin size. When she fought Fang Yuan earlier, she found this secret. Back at the clan, she searched the records and checked up on some assistance type GU that can achieve this effect. But at this moment, as she witnessed the scene again, she felt that the truth might be different. This guy has so many trump cards. Sky Canopy GU, Blood Moon GU and Chainsaw Golden Centipede aside, but even the Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus. His battle tactics are also completely superior to the clan's teachings. Also, what GU did he use earlier? Thinking of this, a cold chill went down Bai Ningbing's spine. Chapter 205, Chapter 205, Sleeping in the Treetop. Rower. The sky was getting darker as the river surged and ebbed. At dusk, the beach was colored red with crocodile blood, and hundreds of six-legged crocodile corpses were lying all around two youths. From beside one particular gigantic crocodile corpse, Fang Yuan slowly stood up. He did not have any thoughts of fleeing when the six-legged crocodile groups had attacked. Although he only had rank 1 initial stage cultivation, he had Bai Ningbing, who was a rank 3 peak stage GU master. Her cultivation base added with his rank 3 GU worms, were more than enough to annihilate 100 beast group. On one hand, he was in need of an external force like the six-legged crocodile groups to oppress Bai Ningbing and also take the chance to train her. On another hand, he also needed to find suitable GU worms for himself. I might only be at rank 1 initial stage, but with my A-grade aptitude and heavenly essence treasure lotus, my primeval essence recovery speed is fast enough to let me use rank 2 GU worms. But what a pity that both the crocodile strength GU and carapace GU aren't really ideal for me, Fang Yuan sighed as he pondered in his mind. Sky Canopy GU was a rank 3 defensive GU which he lent to Bai Ningbing. Now, he needed a suitable defensive GU for himself. However, the carapace Gu's defensive area was too small in that it could only defend his back. And even though crocodile strength GU was a precious GU, Fang Yuan already had the strength of 2 boars, strengthening further would instead harm him. Below rank 6, GU masters only possessed a mortal body which had a limit in how much it could endure and couldn't be strengthened continuously. Fang Yuan already used the black and white boar GU to remodel his body and increase his fundamental strength. Using the crocodile strength GU would surpass what his body could endure and would only harm him. That is to say, unless he found other GU worms which could supplement for the crocodile strength GU, he would be committing a suicidal act by using it. In the inheritance inside by GU Mountain, there is a jade bone GU which can increase the strength of the GU master's bones. After using this GU, there would be no problem in using the crocodile strength GU. However, there is still quite a distance from Bai GU Mountain and it will take at least 10-15 days. Fang Yuan gazed at southeast direction, then he willed and summoned the crocodile strength GU. He gave the crocodile strength GU to Bai Ningbing, and at the same time, called back the heavenly essence treasure lotus. Use this crocodile strength GU, it will let you gain the strength of a crocodile. The process will be a bit tough, but it should be done after you repeatedly activate it for a month, Fang Yuan instructed. Bai Ningbing nodded, she was inwardly happy. With the crocodile strength GU, she could make up for her weak strength. She had looked for such a GU back when she was in Bai clan, but she had no luck in finding such GU. To think that she unexpectedly found the GU which she had always wanted out in the wild. Dangers lurked everywhere when GU masters journeyed outside, but at the same time, there were plenty of opportunities. Let's go, the blood odor here is too concentrated and will definitely attract the wild beasts, the cliff is also almost collapsed, it will be dangerous to camp here. Bai Ningbing approved of Fang Yuan's proposal. But before leaving, Fang Yuan gathered as much of the crocodile blood and flesh as he could and stored them in the 2-seed of flour. Crocodile strength Gu's food was crocodile flesh. And the fresh crocodile blood could be used to feed the blood skull GU and blood moon GU. The sun had already completely disappeared into the horizon and the night fell. Numerous stars could be vaguely seen in the sky. The cliff had collapsed by the Grand Crocodile King's attack, becoming easier to climb. After Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing climbed the cliff, a dense jungle welcomed them. The jungle seemed to continue on and on, touching the shadows of the faraway mountains. Furthermore, the depths of the jungle were covered in deep darkness, concealing unknown dangers and beasts. Chi-chi-ho-hoo, a series of odd noises sounding like the cries of birds or the howling of the apes, resounded in the two youths' ears. The two glanced at each other, realizing that the dangers lurked everywhere in the jungle. More so during the night time, where there were scarce light, the jungle became more dangerous than during daytime. They had no other choices, however. Let's go, Fang Yuan hinted at Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing grinded her teeth, but she had no choice other than to drag her extremely tired body and walk in front, opening a path for Fang Yuan. The trees in this jungle were at least 4 meters tall. And being close the river, the air was filled with moisture and the soil was much softer than normal soil. Under this warm and moist atmosphere, moss grew wildly, spreading over the ground, rocks and tree trunks. The darkness deepened and the chillness increased as the deeper they went into the jungle. Fang Yuan was still in a better condition. Bai Ningbing, however, shivered from cold. She had just engaged in an intense battle, and her whole body was soaked with sweat. Right now as the chill invaded her body, she naturally felt much more cold. Hey, how about making a fire and warming ourselves first? Bai Ningbing spoke while scouting in front. Her voice echoed within the jungle, making the quietness of the jungle even more prominent. Warm ourselves? Haha. Fang Yuan laughed, don't you feel that this jungle is too quiet? Let's stop and check the trees in front. Bai Ningbing slowed down her steps and concentrated. The trees in front of them were short and thick, with twisted roots that spread over on the ground. The ends of the branches all grew out into vines like green pythons, either coiling around each other or dropping down into the ground. The tip of the vines were like Venus flytrap or like mussels with open shells, quietly waiting for the prey. Beast trap tree. Bai Ningbing thought of what he had learned in the academy and recognized this tree. This tree was carnivorous, and the ends of its branches had softened down to become vines with only 2 leaves on the ends. The leaves were wide and big, and would normally remain open like a giant open mouth. However, once a prey walks close, the vines would shoot like a snake and the leaves would snap shut, swallowing the prey. Afterward, the tree would secrete acidic liquid and melt down the prey over the course of tens of days or even months, before absorbing it. Bai Ningbing counted the amount of beast trap trees in front of him. There were at least 30 to 40. There were some distance between each trees, upon which grew ordinary trees. This is the area of beast trap trees, no wonder it was so quiet with no signs of any living creatures. But it isn't a problem, I can forcefully open up a path with a rank 3 GU, Bai Ningbing said. Fang Yuan, however, shook his head, we need a safe campsite right now, and from how I see it, this area of beast trap trees looks pretty good. We might not necessarily find a safer place to spend the night in this dense jungle if we charge through this area. Bai Ningbing couldn't help opening up her eyes wide when she heard what was said, in this place. These beast trap trees are safer. Fang Yuan glanced at her, but didn't explain, instead he turned around and walked back through the way they had come. Bai Ningbing grinded her teeth. Yang Jiyu was with Fang Yuan, so she had no choice but to follow Fang Yuan back to the beach. Fang Yuan chose 2 sturdy crocodile corpses and opened up their cut bellies. He removed the internal organs and cleaned it thoroughly before dragging the corpses back to the jungle. You are actually thinking of. Bai Ningbing was smart, and as she saw this, she already could vaguely guess Fang Yuan's motive. She couldn't help but be amazed by Fang Yuan's creativity. Humans are above all creatures, having unbound wisdom, thinking up odd ways to survive is normal. We will sleep inside these today, Fang Yuan said, and after explaining what to do, he entered inside a crocodile belly. The next moment, he rolled inside and got closer to a beast trap tree in the 6-legged crocodile's body. Swish! The nearest vine pounced, as swift as the wind. The huge open 2 leaves swallowed the whole crocodile corpse in one bite and then firmly closed together. Following next, the vines twisted and gently supported the heavy leaves to the treetop. Go to sleep, we still need to continue on our journey tomorrow. The leaves on the treetop shook for a moment before Fang Yuan's voice traveled out. Bai Ningbing was dumbstruck on the spot, watching this scene with open mouth. She came to her senses only after a long while. The darkness completely enveloped the land, and the night wind gently blew and passed through the jungle, producing sounds like that of a sob. Bai Ningbing clenched her teeth, and just like how Fang Yuan demonstrated, she drilled into the crocodile belly and rolled towards a beast trap tree. Almost immediately, she felt the attack of an external force, causing the whole crocodile body to shake for a while. After the shaking, she sensed herself slowly rising up. Finally, the force lifting her stopped. Bai Ningbing was lying inside the crocodile's belly, and the crocodile belly was lying flat inside the leaves. She gazed outside and her sight passed through the small crack in the closed leaves, landing upon the many stars in the sky. The surroundings were extremely quiet, and the stars were shining brightly like mischievous kids winking at her. The sky is filled with stars, our luck is good, the weather is going to be good tomorrow. Fang Yuan's voice came from outside. Bai Ningbing didn't reply, she moved her body to get into a more comfortable position. However, she still felt cold due to the ice-cold crocodile body. At this moment, she got a whiff of a fragrant scent. Bai Ningbing wasn't surprised as Fang Yuan had already explained this to her. This was the acidic liquid being released by the beast trap tree. However, this acidic liquid would need at least 3 months to melt the crocodile body. Hence, hiding inside the crocodile body was very safe for the moment. Oh right, I better use the crocodile strength GU first and then sleep. Bai Ningbing thought inwardly, but her eyelids seemed to be as heavy as a mountain, gradually shutting close. The next moment, she was in a deep sleep. She was too tired. First it was continuously drifting for 5 days and 5 nights, then it was the intense battle with the crocodile groups. And in the battle, she had surpassed her physical limits and unearthed a part of her potential. Maybe it was because she had turned into a female, the pressure from Fang Yuan intentionally or otherwise, it made her exhausted in both body and mind. Fang Yuan, however, wasn't asleep. From within the crocodile body, he called out the two-seed flower and took out some cotton clothes and cloak. He then divided these into 2 parts, one part for a cushion under his body, another part for covering his body. Although he tossed around, this layer of preparation immediately brought him some warmth. Under the cage of the leaves, the crocodile body changed into a pleasant hotbed. Fang Yuan still had some energy left, he closed his eyes and fell into meditation, using his primeval essence to nurture his aperture. He might have no liquor worm to upgrade his primeval essence, but with the assistance of heavenly essence treasure lotus and his great aptitude, the amount of time he could nurture his aperture increased by a great amount. The primeval sea was turbulent, rising and falling as its waves cleansed the aperture walls. Every time the primeval essence was consumed, it would be immediately replenished. Even continuing to nurture the aperture for a whole night wouldn't be able to exhaust the primeval essence. However, Fang Yuan did not do such a thing, for nurturing the aperture couldn't replace sleep. He stopped cultivating after midnight and went to sleep. He was a light sleeper and was able to hear the vague sounds of the wind and the howling of beasts in his sleep. Many wild beasts were attracted to the odor of the blood in the beach and trudged through the jungle towards it. And when they passed through this area of trees, they were captured by the beast trap trees. Chapter 206. Chapter 206. Becoming the leader. The sun hung brightly in the blue skies and white clouds. Sunlight shone on the land as Yellow Dragon River flowed, with a dense forest beside the river, forming an ocean of greenery. On the beast trap tree's crown, vines hung as 8 or 9 leaves formed a cage, like a gathering of seashells standing tall. Suddenly among one of the cages, there was intense shaking. Pew! A bright red moon blade shot out from there, tearing the leaves apart. A young girl in light-colored clothing, shrouded in a white-colored armor on her body, emerged from the leaf cage. She was agile, her feet landing on some branches on the trees, moving quickly as she jumped down, eventually landing safely on the ground. It was Bai Ningbing. Throughout the process, the beast trap tree did not move, as if it was dead. Bai Ningbing looked at this beast trap tree, thinking of what Fang Yuan had said to her the previous night. Towards any prey that escaped, the beast trap tree will not attack further. Because any prey that can escape, is not something the tree can deal with. Even without intelligence, the instinct of the beast trap tree can allow it to adapt and survive better in the wild. Achoo! Bai Ningbing could not help but sneeze. As she rubbed her nose, she observed the surrounding and checked out her location. In this beast trap forest, most leaf cages were hanging high up in the tree crown like shiny green seashells. It seems that the blood smell on the beach has attracted many wild beasts. The beast trap tree had a great harvest last night, Bai Ningbing thought in her heart as she stretched her limbs, cracking her neck. She had an uncomfortable sleep last night, the crocodile's corpse was hard and tough. Coupled with the cold night, although she was extremely tired, she was woken up by the cold several times. Thus, with huge eye bags, she was in a bad condition mentally. But after cultivating for a while, her stamina had recovered by more than half. At this moment, she was standing in an area with sunlight, using the sunlight to dispel the coldness in her body. Bai Ningbing, let me out. A voice was heard, none other than Fang Yuan. He did not need to use the earth-hearing communication grass to notice the commotion. Bai Ningbing glanced at another beast trap tree. On this tree crown, the leaf cage that had captured Fang Yuan was still at the same spot. She laughed inwardly, not replying, instead closing her eyes and resting while bathing in the sunlight, delaying on purpose. 15 minutes later, she shot out a blood-colored moonblade, cutting the vines apart. The seashell-like leaves scattered on the ground as they tore and dispersed. Bai Ningbing slowly walked over, using another blood moonblade, cutting the leaves as Fang Yuan moved his way out of the cage. What's with the delay? I woke up ages ago, and even managed to cultivate for a while. Fang Yuan's face was gleaming, looking extremely refreshed. The clothes and cloak that he took out last night had already been kept. Bai Ningbing snorted. Fang Yuan's current situation was beyond her expectations. She had thought that Fang Yuan would be like her, not being able to sleep while feeling hungry and cold. Thus she delayed his release, trying to torture him. But to think that his condition was at its peak. It's getting late, we have to start moving. Let's eat first. Fang Yuan shot out the 2 seed of flour, taking out the coal stone, iron rack, iron pot, water bottle and dried biscuits etc. He moved quickly, cooking a pot of meat stew in a short while. Next he searched around, finding a large number of mushrooms under the cover of the beast trap tree. These tree shrooms were long, dry and thin, looking dark purple or black. Bai Ningbing looked at Fang Yuan as he put these into the pan, questioning, wild vegetation cannot be eaten without caution, they might be poisonous. Yup, you're right, Fang Yuan nodded, then don't eat. Bai Ningbing laughed coldly, if you get poisoned, I do not have a healing GU worm. Fang Yuan indifferently took out a ladle, drinking a huge mouthful of meat soup under Bai Ningbing's close watch. Bai Ningbing snorted. Only until Fang Yuan drank 5 to 6 mouthfuls of soup did she assure herself that there was no danger in the soup. After drinking from the ladle, her eyes shone. Compared to yesterday, this stew had a much fresher and sweeter flavor. She directed her gaze towards the tree shrooms in the soup. Evidently, the difference was due to these mushrooms. She could not help but look at Fang Yuan as he sat on a rock, drinking soup with his head lowered as he ate the dry biscuits, full of vigor. Although their sleeping condition was the same, Bai Ningbing compared it to her own pathetic state and felt a trace of admiration towards Fang Yuan in her heart, no matter how much she denied it. Of course, if she knew that Fang Yuan had secretly taken out his cloak and clothes to keep warm, then she would have had a different feeling altogether. Fang Yuan felt her gaze landing on him. But he did not raise his head, only smiling lightly, pretending he did not notice it and continued eating. Ever since Qingmao Mountain where Bai Ningbing resolutely saved him, Fang Yuan felt that pure demonic nature in her. Demons are crazy, impervious to reason, adamantly walking on their own path. Bai Ningbing's demonic nature gave Fang Yuan some ideas on how to make use of her. But this person, Bai Ningbing, was also complex. On one hand, she was too tender. After getting new life and solving the problem of the northern dark ice soul physique, she did not want to give up anymore, enjoying life and not resolving to die. But on the other hand, her demonic nature made her pursue excitement, thus having a completely unrestrained personality. She did not fear death, and if death was exciting enough, she would chase after it. Such a person is like a young dragon, full of curiosity towards the world, carrying an unrestrained nature, and whose wildness was untamable. She had her own path, her own ambitions and aspirations. Bai Ningbing had not fully grown into a demon lord, she was merely a demon child now. But this true demon will never change her path, and her direction cannot be altered, and she definitely will not submit to anyone. True demons are only loyal to themselves, moving in the darkness alone, walking their own paths. True demons will admire other people, but they will never submit. A true demon is the lord of their own, the supreme existence. Fang Yuan understood Bai Ningbing because Fang Yuan understood himself. He knew that Bai Ningbing would never submit to him, but not submitting does not mean she couldn't be subdued. While not able to change her path, it does not mean she cannot be used. If Fang Yuan had rank 3 cultivation, he would not need her. But with only rank 1 initial stage now, Bai Ningbing's value was great. Of course, wanting to subdue her and make use of her, some efforts needed to be put in. Bai Ningbing was smart and arrogant, and could not be forced. Only through some small matters, or external influence to exert pressure on her, can she slowly be tamed. Secretly taking out clothes to keep warm, was not because Fang Yuan is petty. Earlier Bai Ningbing purposely delayed the time, and Fang Yuan did not pursue it, it is not because he is magnanimous. To subdue Bai Ningbing, I need to spend a lot of time. But I'm in no rush, let's take it slow, I need time to recover my cultivation. After the 2 ate, it was near noon already. On the ground, there were footprints of wild beasts all over. The two continued moving, as Bai Ningbing paved the way towards the southeast direction. The deeper they went, the taller the trees in the forest. Earlier there were only beast trap trees around 3 to 4 meters tall, but gradually, they became 5 to 6 meters tall, and at times there were 7 to 8 meter tall king trees, like a crane among a flock of chicken. Of course there were also dying tree branches that had fallen onto the ground, filled with green moss. Or at some areas, there were budding leaves, or broken wood, split apart by lightning, showing the fury of the heavens. These great beings grew in close proximity in this area, shrouding the heavens. The deeper one went, the colder it got. The strong sunlight was blocked by the lustrous tree leaves, and only a tiny ray could penetrate, creating large shadows in the forest. The wind blew, and the tree leaves made a swish sound, as shadows moved like shattered gold. In the forest, not all was peaceful. At times, there would be deer, foxes, rabbits and other animals moving around. Most were birds, all sorts of birds, either in groups of 3s or 5s, or a large flock flying in the sky. Others stood on tree branches as they sang out in harmony. Sometimes, there would be the roaring of tigers from far away. The two moved and stopped, relying on the earth-hearing communication grass to avoid many dangers. But some areas could not be avoided, thus Bai Ningbing's battle strength was needed to force their way through. Rank 3 cultivation is already sufficient to deal with problems in the wild. Night descended again, and Fang Yuan found a safe camping spot. It was a stone hill. Bai Ningbing was extremely tired, falling asleep immediately even on the rough sharp rocks. On the second day when she woke up, her body ached all over and even her head could not rotate properly, having gotten a stiff neck. Her sneezing also became more frequent. It was obvious she caught a cold. Fang Yuan took all these into consideration as they continued on their journey. They moved extremely slowly, because there was no movement type GU to travel. Previously, Fang Yuan used the 1000-li earth wolf spider and Bai Ningbing used the white form immortal snake GU, both were mobile GU that were rank 5. Unfortunately one died and the other escaped. But Fang Yuan was not in a hurry, his cultivation was weak and he needed time to cultivate. Every time there was a break when they traveled in the day, even during rest he would grab every second to cultivate. At night, he would cultivate into late night. A few days later, Bai Ningbing got sick, catching a cold. Her head hurt and her battle strength fell rapidly, also getting a fever. Fang Yuan had to stop and use the medicine in the 2-seed flower on her, as well as some medical paste to apply on her body. Although they were burning on the skin, they helped to remove the chill in her body. Only after resting for 6 days did Bai Ningbing recover. This illness was a huge lesson to her. During the period, she was drowsy and barely had any strength in her body, not even able to apply the paste herself. It was Fang Yuan who helped her. If not for Fang Yuan, I'd be in a critical position this time. After Bai Ningbing recovered, she sighed inwardly. Not matter how much she did not want to agree with it, it was the truth. In the past, her tone was tough and was very aggressive. But after this matter, she became much quieter, often keeping silent. At times, she could go for half a day without speaking. The less she spoke, the more Fang Yuan led and his authority rose. This way, he slowly became the leader among the two. Chapter 207. Chapter 207. Zhan Yuan Divine Pheasant. Time passed quickly. Half a month later, Bai Ningbing grew thinner but her body radiated a strong elite aura. Her concentration was better, and her blue eyes shone with brilliance as she observed around. Undeniably, she had adjusted to this primal life, and learned much from this experience. Fang Yuan knew, although Bai Ningbing was solemn, it does not mean she admitted defeat. Her heart was motivated to learn seriously and try hard to adapt. At times, she would refute some of Fang Yuan's ideas, and although they were still rather shallow, she had gone past her initial naivety. Fang Yuan could feel Bai Ningbing improving by the day. But this situation was not unexpected. To subdue Bai Ningbing, it was not easy. Any true demon would have the spirits to resist greatly. Under the blazing sun, the two hid in the shaded forest as they carefully observed the mountain valley. In the valley, there was a huge crocodile, sleeping peacefully. A lava crocodile, the size of 3 elephants placed together. Its body was covered in dark red scales, and its 4 thick strong legs support its humongous body. A crocodile tail glowed in a metallic luster as it reached almost 10 meters tall. Most importantly, on its back there are 2 lumps, like 2 mini volcanoes. As it breathed, 2 columns of black smoke rose from the lumps, varying in intensity. This lava crocodile is a 1000 beast king. To eliminate it, the risk is too great. Bai Ningbing stared with wariness. On a 1000 beast king, there are rank 3 wild GU worms. Together with the beast king's strong body physique, even rank 3 peak stage GU masters would have difficulty finding victory in a 1v1. Great risks, greater rewards. It is not easy to find a crocodile in the forest. Crocodile strength GU needs crocodile meat to feed on. We have less than half left now. Let's test out this crocodile's strength first. Fang Yuan said. Lava crocodile lived underground in groups. Only the beast king have the strength to get to the surface and breathe in fresh air, enjoying the sun. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth, standing up. After getting the crocodile strength GU, she had been using it. Now her strength was greatly increased, but there was still a distance from the strength of one crocodile. The increment was not completely done yet. The lava crocodile was asleep, but when Bai Ningbing got around 50 steps away from it, it opened its red golden eyes. Plop! It supported its body as it turned its head, 2 gushes of hot air coming out from its nose. Bai Ningbing's expression was solemn, activating the canopy GU, but still feeling a strong feeling of heated air gushing at her face. She did not take out the chainsaw golden centipede, but shot out the blood moonblade. The rank 3 moonblade hit the back of the lava crocodile, shaving off some scales and succeeded in angering the lava crocodile king. It aimed accurately at Bai Ningbing, opening its huge mouth and shooting out a dark red lava fireball. The lava fireball was the size of a stone mole. Bai Ningbing did not dare to take it head-on, and dodged. Bam! Lava fireball drew an arc in the sky, landing on the mountain rocks. In an explosion, shards of mountain rocks flew apart as the flames burnt. A small-sized mushroom cloud floated into the sky before dissipating. At the explosion area, a huge crater was created, and inside fresh lava was still flowing as they slowly cooled down. Rank 3 lava explosion GU. Fang Yuan, seeing this, concluded in his heart. Few minutes later, Fang Yuan threw down a rope from above the cliff, and pulled Bai Ningbing up. Lava Crocodile King growled several times, but did not give chase. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's figure vanished as it continued to lay on the ground, enjoying its sunbath once again. This is because Bai Ningbing's attacks were merely probing. The Lava Crocodile King did not find her a threat, only thinking that she was an intruding wild beast, thus chasing her away. This is a Lava Crocodile King, with 3 GU worms inside it. 1 Lava Explosion GU, 1 Flame Stomach GU, and 1 Accumulating Ash GU, all 3 are rank 3 GU worms. Covering attack, defense and healing, all 3 basic aspects are assured. Leaving the valley, Fang Yuan concluded what he observed. Bai Ningbing frowned deeply. She herself had probed earlier, and knew that to kill this Crocodile King, it was extremely difficult and was near impossible. Never mind that Lava Explosion GU, even the Flame Stomach Goose defense cannot be broken by Blood Moon GU. Only the Chainsaw Golden Centipede can do it when it gets close. But if we really did that to destroy the Flame Stomach, the centipede would be crippled as well. These days, after using it to kill enemies, the razors were already in bad shape. Plus, even if we break the defenses, there is still the Accumulating Ash GU that can heal the Crocodile King. Its stamina is definitely greater than both of us combined. In a battle of attrition we would definitely lose. Most importantly, it can burrow underground and go back to its nest. We cannot stop it from leaving. Bai Ningbing said. Fang Yuan nodded. Your analysis is right, but I want to kill it even more now. Since Ash GU that eats ashes as food, it is easy to feed. It is also very suitable as our healing GU worm. HMPH, although the GU worm is good, we need to live to enjoy it. Although you have the Yang GU, don't think of manipulating me, ordering me to risk my life in such a combat, Bai Ningbing snorted. We cannot fight it head-on, but we can use intelligence. Never mind about other wild beasts, but this Lava Crocodile King, we can use it to attract other beast kings and cause them to fight among themselves, and then reap the rewards from it, Fang Yuan said as he did not wish to give up due to difficulty. Creating a miracle out of the impossible, it was his favorite thing to do. If it was any other wild beast, unless they just migrated and arrived, they would have their respective territories. Among themselves, they would know each other's existence and would not cause any infighting. But the Lava Crocodile King was different. It normally lived underground, and sometimes came to the surface to breathe fresh air. Like the fish deep in the sea, jumping out of the surface of the water. Their existence was not known by other beast kings, they are like illegal immigrants. Unless it was a beast king like the lightning lichen, most did not have high intelligence. Once a beast king is lured over, they would feel threatened by one another and begin an intense battle. Once they both got injured, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing would be able to rob the owner when his house is on fire. Fang Yuan's words caused Bai Ningbing's eyes to shine. She nodded. We do not have a movement type GU, thus this plan is risky. But compared to fighting the Lava Crocodile King head-on, we have greater hopes of success. We can give this a try. Like human society, among wild beasts, they each have their own territories. Stronger beast kings led beast groups and occupied areas with abundant resources. Just like how a human clan would occupy a spirit spring. Among forces, they would have interactions, and as long as they ventured into other areas, they would have some findings. The next 5 days, Bai and Fang used the Lava Crocodile as the focal point as they searched around. The northwest direction which they came from did not need more scouting. Looping around the valley, towards the southeast direction, they found a white ape gang. The leader was an old white ape, a thousand beast king. A white ape's speed was fast, and if it was lured, the two would definitely get caught up and be surrounded. Thus, they had to give up their plans here. At the southwest direction, it was a rotting swamp. The smell was overbearing. This is the world of the poison. The poisonous snake lay below the roots of the tree, as fist-sized poisonous bees flew around in groups, and large spiders' webs had black spiders around the size of a face. From the center of the swamp, there was frogs screeching. Fang Yuan deduced that it was a healing Gu that was the lord of this swamp, poison-swallowing toad. It was rank 4, having a small body and fed on poisonous food. If a Gu master is poisoned, activating it to absorb the poison would result in a healing effect. Its speed was bad, but entering the deep parts of the swamp and luring it out is harder. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing did not have any healing Gu. If they were bitten by a poisonous creature, it would result in much trouble. Furthermore, finding a tiny poison-swallowing frog in a large swamp was extremely difficult. The two finally moved towards the northeast direction, finding a beehive as huge as a house. Inside there was a large number of a terrifying insect group, the frenzy needle bee. These bees were even greater trouble. Frenzy needle bee, once becoming a Gu, had the ability to penetrate all things. That is to say, even with Bai Ningbing's sky canopy Gu protection, it would be pierced by the rank 3 frenzy needles. The winds howled in the night. Winds blew into the mountain caves as the campfire flickered in response. This was a small mound, and a cave was found inside. This cave did not have an optimum location. First, it did not face against the wind, thus winds blew into the cave and caused it to be very moist. Next, the top was not covered, like a well, as the stars in the skies could be seen. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were solemn, sitting around the fire. Fang Yuan was expressionless while Bai Ningbing sighed in disappointment. These few days we explored the surroundings completely. Although your idea is great, we have no suitable targets. It seems we can only give up on the Lava Crocodile King. Plans are made by men, but success is decided by the heavens. We have insufficient strength, thus we can only rely on luck for some things. Never mind, I still wanted to raise the crocodile strength Gu, but it seems we cannot kill the Lava Crocodile King. Tomorrow we will set off, and continued towards Bai Gu Mountain. Fang Yuan nodded helplessly. But at this time, suddenly from the outside, the Lava Crocodile King's furious growls could be heard. What happened? It is that Lava Crocodile King. The two made eye contact as they left the cave, looking towards a faraway place. Only to see that in the valley, rainbow colors were shining as the flames burnt brightly, giving off an imposing aura. In the brilliant rainbow light, a pheasant as large as a mountain showed its body. Its crown shone like gold, erecting highly. The feathers on its body shone in all colors, changing all the time and giving an out-of-this-world brilliance. Oh no, it is the Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant, a myriad beast king level bird. The Lava Crocodile King is done for, Fang Yuan said immediately. Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant. Bai Ningbing was perturbed. This is a lone traveling myriad beast king, able to fly in the skies, only landing to find food. Divine Pheasant is low in numbers, they have all sorts of rainbow Gu in their bodies. Once they battle, the skies would be filled with rainbow lights, shining in 5 to 7 different lights. Sigh, we can't get the Lava Crocodile King anymore. Let's hurry in, this divine pheasant is extremely sharp-eyed like an eagle. If it finds us and comes for the killing, we would be in great trouble. Saying so, Fang Yuan retreated into the cave. Bai Ningbing bit her lips as she followed closely behind. Chapter 208. Chapter 208. Escape. An hour later, the Lava Crocodile King cried out one last time before it went silent. Soon after, Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan heard the sound of the Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant pecking its food. But Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant's appetite was huge, and one Lava Crocodile King could not satisfy its hunger. This night, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing did not sleep. After the Lava Crocodile King's cries, they heard the white ape screaming, the poison-swallowing toad screech, and the fluttering of the bee groups. Most importantly, there was the Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant's loud cry. Only until evening did the Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant fly into the skies, drawing a rainbow behind its path. Seeing the trail of the rainbow disappearing in the sky, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing finally dared to walk out of the cave. The two came to the original valley. The valley was completely wrecked, half destroyed. The Lava Crocodile King laid belly side up on the ground, as dead as it could be. Its stomach was pried open by the Zhen Yuan Divine Pheasant, and the flesh and intestines within were all eaten. Only its remaining skeleton held together by the dark red crocodile skin was left. The two searched for a while. They soon found a red glass fragment, This was the remains of the flame stomach GU. Evidently, the lava crocodile king activated the flame stomach GU for defense, but it was forcefully defeated by the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant, causing the flame stomach GU to be destroyed. As for the other two GU, lava explosion and accumulating ash GU, they were nowhere to be found. This was nothing strange. Once the host dies, the GU worms inhibiting the wild beasts' bodies will leave and roam around like they've lost their homes. Accumulating ash GU was a very ideal healing GU, perfect for Fang Yuan's situation. But things did not go according to one's will most of the time. Not obtaining the accumulating ash GU was within Fang Yuan's expectations. But they did not return empty-handed. There was still some flesh left in the lava crocodile king's corpse. The Zhan Yuan divine pheasant ate most of the corpse, but left behind some scraps that Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing could take. After working for an afternoon, they finally cut out all the meat and stored it in the two-seed of flour. These crocodile meat is enough to feed the crocodile strength GU for 3 months. Let's explore other areas. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing came to the territory of the white apes. The dense forest earlier had white ape groups playing and swinging around. But now everywhere there was broken trees, with white ape limbs in the mix. Some old, crippled or young apes defended the corpses of their kin as they cried out loud, the entire forest covered in an atmosphere of sadness and devastation. The Zhan Yuan divine pheasant had caused a catastrophe to this 1,000-beast group the night before. Right now only 200 or 300 were left, and the last few hundred beast king white apes were all injured. Bai Ningbing stared with shining eyes. Right now the white ape group is at their weakest. Shall we attack? Fang Yuan stopped her. Not that he pitied these white apes, but knew that in a way, they were even more dangerous now. An army burning with righteous indignation is bound to win. Don't mess with these white apes. Once you do, they'll attack in rage, relentlessly attacking until we're dead. Those few hundred beast kings, although they are injured, it is not something you can deal with alone. Bai Ningbing, hearing so, looked at Fang Yuan before giving up on her plan to attack. The two moved towards the southwest area, towards the rotten swamp. The swamp had turned into a completely different sight, ravaged by the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant. Their living environment had been greatly destroyed, and the swamp's major forces were redistributed. Although the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant left, the swamp was not in peace. All sorts of poisonous beings were killing each other, in chaos. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing stood at the fringe of the swamp. In only a while, they saw 3 battles occurring. One sight was of 2 brightly colored poisonous snakes battling, until one was swallowed by the other. But not long after, a crab-sized scorpion came and stabbed the poisonous snake to death. The second battle was between a poison powder moth and an eerie blue toad. When battle ensued, the toad stretched its tongue and swallowed the moth. A moment later, the moth died of suffocation in the toad's mouth, but the toad was also poisoned to death by the powder. The third battle was between a face-sized black spider, coming out from the mud. Its body was covered in ants. After a while the ants won, and completely devoured the spider. Seeing such a chaotic scene, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing left immediately. Finally they came to the nest of the frenzy needle bee group. The house-like beehive had collapsed completely. The surroundings was quiet, not a single frenzy needle bee was left. The two got closer. Immediately, the fragrant smell of sesame entered Bai Ningbing's nose as she sniffed. What smell is that? The smell of the beehive. Frenzy needle bee do not create honey, but their hives are a great GU refinement material. At the same time, it is a kind of food that humans can consume directly. Fang Yuan said so, stretching his arm into the beehive. Crack. The beehive fragments were dark yellow color. Under Bai Ningbing's curious gaze, he placed the beehive into his mouth, biting and crushing it in a few bites, swallowing it. The beehive tasted like biscuits on earth, fragrant and crispy. But undeniably, this naturally produced food was much more delicious than biscuits. It carried a light sweetness, not oily at all, but instead having a refreshing flavor. Good taste. Bai Ningbing also took a piece to eat, and after consuming it, she felt her mouth salivating. The sweet flavor caused her frowning eyebrows to ease subconsciously. Our salted meat and dry biscuits are finishing. We should collect some beehives and store it in your two-seed of flour, Bai Ningbing suggested. Fang Yuan looked at the sky, his expression slightly worried. I have the same thought, but we have to move quickly. You're worried that the blood smell of the lava crocodile king as well as the white ape's corpse will attract new wild beasts. Rest easy, there is no wind today. Wild beasts will not be attracted over, at least not in the meantime. During this period, we can collect to our heart's content. Bai Ningbing laughed. Fang Yuan shook his head, about to speak when suddenly his expression changed. Buzz buzz buzz, the sound of bees buzzing and flying entered their ears. Bai Ningbing looked at the sky immediately, only to see a thick cloud formed by numerous frenzy needle bees, attacking towards them. The frenzy needle beehive, although destroyed by Zhan Yuan divine pheasant, and the most delicious piece of the beehive at the center was eaten, the frenzy needle bees were not reduced much in numbers. Frenzy needle bees could not cause damage to the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant, so after the latter ate enough, it did not waste extra energy in exterminating these insignificant things. Frenzy needle bee group's house was destroyed, and because they had low intelligence, they started attacking the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant. But once the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant flew high into the sky, they no longer had the strength to pursue them, and were unable to continue chasing, thus they could only return to their hive and reconstruct their houses. Afterwards, they saw two youngsters standing in their house eating their hive. Under this situation, what hesitation was there? The fury towards the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant earlier, was completely transferred to Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. At once, numerous frenzy needle bees flapped their wings and rained down on the two. Bai Ningbing was stunned. Why are you still not running? Fang Yuan turned around and left, taking huge strides. Being reminded like this, Bai Ningbing immediately turned around and chased after Fang Yuan. The frenzy needle bee group was behind them, relentlessly chasing. Fang Yuan ran in front while Bai Ningbing fell behind. They did not have a movement type GU, thus Bai Ningbing was quickly caught by the bee group. Chink chink chink. Bai Ningbing activated the sky canopy GU, and a white armor appeared but flickered immediately, receiving almost 1,000 attacks in just a moment. Frenzy needle bees needle were tough as steel, extremely sturdy. Together with their high-speed flying, it was no inferior to a needle rain attack. Large numbers cause a qualitative change. Bai Ningbing's primeval essence continued to reduce, the bee group's attacks are not to be underestimated. What was more troubling, was that some of the frenzy needle bees had become GU. Rank 3 frenzy needle bee GU had piercing ability, so even the sky canopy GU could not defend against it. Bai Ningbing's back was quickly pierced and she bled, causing her to grunt in pain, while her running speed broke her usual limits due to the stimulation. Bai Ningbing had never thought she could run so quickly on her own. With her speed, it looked like mountain rocks and trees came flying at her, and she had to concentrate with all her mind to dodge them. If she was tripped by anything, the bees would surround her at the first opportunity. Under such an attack, she was dead meat. With Bai Ningbing behind him tanking the pressure, Fang Yuan's situation was much better. He activated his primeval essence, injecting them into his carapace GU at his back. The skin on his back became uneven, slightly bulging and becoming a tough and thick crocodile skin armor. Ordinary frenzy needle bees could not penetrate the crocodile skin armor, and the few BGU were attracted by Bai Ningbing. After running for another 15 minutes, the bees still chased relentlessly. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were panting as their speed started to reduce. There's hope, there's a lake in front. As the situation turned dire, Fang Yuan suddenly shouted. Bai Ningbing was overjoyed. Trees became less densely packed as a blue-white light appeared, expanding within the greenery. The two rushed out of the forest, and a lake was seen. Fang Yuan did not hesitate, and with a plop, he jumped into the lake. Bai Ningbing followed closely behind. Swish swish swish. Frenzy needle bees were bent on getting them, diving into the water as well. Bai Ningbing's white armor shook intensely, as she received a large number of attacks. As the intense pain hit her, she bit her lips and paddled with her hands, swimming towards the deeper parts of the water. A moment later, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing emerged from the opposite shore. The smell of the beehive on their bodies had been washed away, and when looking back at their original spot, there were large numbers of frenzy needle bees indignantly flying about, attacking the water out of frustration. Although the frenzy needle bees were small, they were resilient. Even if they fell into the lake, as long as it was not too deep, they would resurface. Damn it, Bai Ningbing cursed, still feeling the lingering fear from earlier. Her expression was ugly. Be it the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant, or white ape group, or even the frenzy needle bee group, none of them were those she could deal with. If last night she was found by the Zhan Yuan divine pheasant, she would become its meal. Rank 3 cultivation in this cruel world of nature, was the bottom of the hierarchy. I've had enough, when will we reach Baiju Mountain? Shush, be quiet. Fang Yuan's expression was solemn, he half squatted as his finger touched the remains of a fire that had been put out earlier. Bai Ningbing immediately frowned deeply. Undeniably, these were traces left behind by humans. Chapter 209. Chapter 209. Encountering a demonic GU master. The lake water was still, reflecting the clear blue sky and white clouds. Even after losing the frenzy needle bee's chase, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's mood were solemn. Because in front of them, there was traces left behind that signified this area was once used by people to start a fire and cook meat. Earth communication ear grass. Fang Yuan willed and roots grew out of his ear. As they extended into the ground and dug their way in, Fang Yuan's hearing became many times stronger. After listening for a while, his expression loosened up, as there was no one ambushing in the vicinity. Soon after, he went to the remains of the fire and touched the ashes, not letting go of any evidence that he could find. The fire was started half a month ago, the other party is alone and should not be nearby. After a while, Fang Yuan concluded from his findings. Alone, GU masters from a clan have to travel in fives. It seems this person is a demonic GU master. Bai Ningbing frowned as she sighed. If it was a GU master from a clan, they would be righteous GU masters, and there is hope of interaction. If it was a demonic GU master, once they meet a battle is assured. This situation is not because righteous people are kind, while demonic people are evil. But because when one is alone, they would display their true nature, there are no restraints in the wild, thus they act without reservation. Righteous GU masters move in groups. When they handle matters, they will think about the opinions of the people with them, thus they would act more closely to society's norm. Demonic GU masters often moved alone, and were very vigilant, having a strong instinct towards danger. Without anyone to rely on, they would always act to determine and ensure their own safety. This was not good news to Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. When meeting righteous clan-based GU masters, they could avoid battle. But if they met a demonic GU master, there would definitely fight, unless they displayed sufficient strength that would cause the demonic GU master to shrink in fear and suspicion. Unfortunately, GU masters that could roam around these wilderness alone have around rank 4 cultivation, and special methods of their own. How many weaklings would there be? For Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, one was a new rank 3 while the other was rank 1 initial stage. Without sufficient GU worms to cover all grounds, even when they traveled in the woods, it was full of danger and every step was a difficult gamble. If they encountered a demonic GU master, they will most likely be done for. Thankfully we discovered the traces of this campfire, so from now on we should not blinding rush our journey, but recuperate and at least mend our current wounds back to full health, Fang Yuan said. Bai Ningbing nodded. After being reminded, she also felt her back hurting. Fang Yuan summoned the 2-seed of flour, taking out bandages and medicine, giving a large portion to Bai Ningbing. Although the carapace goo's defensive area was small, usually being useless, this time it helped Fang Yuan by a lot. And because Bai Ningbing attracted most of the firepower, Fang Yuan barely had any injuries. He quickly handled his wounds, and rushed over to help Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing took off her upper shirt. Numerous fingertip-sized holes filled her back, causing fear to whoever who saw it. Frenzy Needle Bee is rank 3, large in numbers and also having penetrating abilities, it countered the Sky Canopy GU. But Bai Ningbing also used the Ice Muscles GU before, so with 2 layers of defense, her life was saved. Tisk tisk. Bai Ningbing gritted her teeth, breathing in deeply as she endured the pain of cleaning the wound. Soon after, the injury was bandaged. Fang Yuan placed the empty medicine cans and the last remaining bandage into the 2-seed of flour. We have little medication items left, the same with bandages. Even though we have been thrifty and even reused the bandages when we could, it seems we really need to find a healing GU as soon as possible. Fang Yuan stood up with a solemn expression. Medication is an expendable item, and was difficult to make, and takes time to collect. If they had a healing GU, not only would the effect be better, it also used primeval essence that can be naturally recovered. With this comparison, the superior one stood out easily. But an ideal GU worm is too hard to find. The truth is, within this half a month, they encountered many chances, but they either had insufficient strength, or it was an inappropriate environment, lacking proper preparations to capture the GU. We have to get a healing GU. But before that, I have a problem here, Bai Ningbing suddenly said. What problem? Fang Yuan raised his eyebrows. Bai Ningbing was naked above and she turned over and pointed to her chest. These 2 lumps of meat, they are in the way. When I run they will jump all over the place, and even in battle they are a burden. I want to slice them off, but I'm worried the injury would be too severe. Without a healing GU worm, I might get into even more trouble. She was the Bai clan genius, focused on cultivation. She barely knew anything outside of it, thus having even less concern towards females. Even though Bai Ningbing had turned into a girl, She had lived as a guy for her entire life, thus she didn't care in her mind and did not treat this body as anything sacred. After all, she knew that the Yang Jiyu in Fang Yuan's possession could give her back the body of a male anyway. Thus, Bai Ningbing had never thought of herself as a girl. Fang Yuan stared at her emotionlessly. There will be too many problems with slicing them off, you can wrap them up. Wrap what? Bai Ningbing asked. Use the bandage to wrap around your bosom and treat them like an injury. Then they will be fixed in place, Fang Yuan said. Bai Ningbing's expression was helpless and anguished, sighing, sigh, that's the best I can do now. The sun gradually sank as the night sky descended. There were streams of wild beasts coming to the lake to drink water, and the two did not dare to stay there for long. Fang Yuan found a naturally formed cave at a nearby steep cliff. Although it was slightly cramped, it was safe. After clearing the birds living within it, the place became their temporary residence. Few days later, Bai Ningbing's injuries recovered mostly. The two continued on their journey, towards Bai Jiyu Mountain. But considering that mysterious demonic Jiyu master, on this trip Fang Yuan was extra cautious, constantly stopping and using the earth communication ear grass to check the surroundings. On the second day of their journey, their cautiousness reaped them good rewards. He found burnt wood under a tree, evidently caused by the demonic Jiyu master. On the third day, they examined traces of an intense battle near a stream. The corpse of a large green python lay there, the meat fully eaten by wild beasts, leaving behind only a skeleton. The ground was full of its scales, and the stream even moved in a new path, after many trees were broken and chopped down. Fang Yuan observed for a while, his tone relaxing, that demonic Jiyu master once fought an intense battle here with the green python. This is a 100-beast king green python. To undergo such a fight, it seems that this demonic Jiyu master also has rank 3 cultivation. But even so, Fang Yuan did not want to meet with this demonic Jiyu master. He would rather deal with unintelligent wild beasts or Jiyu masters. Jiyu masters have intelligence, and would use every bit of strength wisely. A rank 3 demonic Jiyu master has much greater threat to Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing compared to the frenzy needle bee. But things do not go according to wishes, and on the afternoon of that day, the two found traces of the demonic Jiyu master once again. This demonic Jiyu master is injured. There is some flesh that was cut away, on the ground here, so it seems the Jiyu master got poisoned, Fang Yuan said. On Earth, there are no poisonous pythons. But in here, they were extremely common. Upon hearing so, Bai Ningbing's eyes shone brightly. Undeniably this was good news. The weaker the demonic Jiyu master, the more advantageous it is for them. For the next few days, the trace left behind by the demonic Jiyu master increased. With his 500 years of experience, Fang Yuan deduced that they were getting closer towards the injured demonic Jiyu master. Be extra careful, I can deduce that this Jiyu master's injury is getting more severe, and the green python's poison has severely infected her body. But because of this, a demonic Jiyu master's attitude would easily become more extreme, Fang Yuan reminded Bai Ningbing. Battle would definitely be handled by Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan's rank 1 initial stage cultivation is useless. The greatest advantage now was that the enemy was out in the open, while Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were hidden. The two moved with even more vigilance than before. They moved even more slowly, and moved with less distance than before. Eventually, on one afternoon, Fang Yuan opened his eyes, keeping the roots coming out of his ears. I found that demonic Jiyu master. That person is in that cave, at their last breath. Just earlier, he heard the sound of human breathing in that cave. Strike while the enemy is weak. Bai Ningbing aspired to battle, revealing ruthlessness in her eyes. But she was stopped by Fang Yuan. Be patient, we do not need to strike. With this situation, in just a few days she will die of poison. I see. Bai Ningbing's killing intent reduced. But at this time, the two outside, why bother hiding? I've already found you. A weak voice came from the cave. Hearing this, it was clear that the demonic Jiyu master was female. Fang Yuan's expression changed, immediately retreating. Don't you want my primeval stones, my Jiyu worms? The voice came from the cave again. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing moved even more quickly. Although the other party was weak, her tone was firm. There was definitely some traps put in place that allowed her to be fearless. Moreover, no one is foolish enough to risk it out with a dying person. Leaving after coming here, hee, there's no such easy way out, you shall all stay. Suddenly, a body came out of the cave. All up to you. Fang Yuan's body flickered, hiding his presence. Bai Ningbing clicked her tongue, activating the Sky Canopy GU and summoning the Chainsaw Golden Centipede, engaging the enemy. The two fought for 3 rounds, and the demonic GU master was suppressed. She was a middle-aged woman without shoes, having large feet and thick black fur growing on her soles. Her face and limbs had a peculiar green color. It was caused by the green python's poison. After a moment, the demonic female GU master gradually could not contest. Suddenly, she stepped the ground firmly and jumped back into the cave. Bai Ningbing chased after relentlessly. "Don't chase her," Fang Yuan suddenly reminded, but did not make it in time. Bam! A loud explosion occurred right under Bai Ningbing's feet as her entire body was blown away. Chapter 210. Chapter 210. Plotting. Rocks and fragments flew, as smoke rose into the air. Bai Ningbing was sent flying to the ground, but with a jump, she stood up again. She had the protection of the Sky Canopy GU and was uninjured, but the Sky Canopy GU in her aperture took the impact, her white armor fading by at least 30%. What the fuck? Bai Ningbing cursed, concentrating and looking over. The explosion site had turned into a 2 to 3 meter crater. Inside the cave, the demonic female GU master laughed smugly. "Good. Even if I didn't kill you this time, come at me again if you have the guts, little woman." HMPH, Bai Ningbing snorted. Although she was furious, she was not an impulsive person. During the earlier explosion, although the Sky Canopy GU protected her, if she took a few more hits, the Sky Canopy GU would have been destroyed. What was that earlier? An explosion suddenly burst from the ground, so if I left the ground, would I be able to avoid such an attack? Bai Ningbing thought in her heart. She was not stupid, although naive and pure in some areas, and her battle instincts and wits were still at genius level. I do not have a flying GU, and if I leap I am bound to touch the ground. No, I do not have to attack. This person's words earlier was trying to incite me to attack, hee. Thinking so, Bai Ningbing laughed darkly. "Do you think you are safe if you hide in the cave? I just have to camp here, you will come out eventually." "Ha ha ha, then wait all you want. I have prepared a large amount of food, and you are vulnerable to the weather outside, so let's see who will outlast the other," the demonic female GU master retorted. Bai Ningbing laughed coldly, for the longer they dragged, the more beneficial it was for her. Because this demonic female GU master was poisoned by the green python, she would get weaker as time passed. But at this time, Fang Yuan cupped his fist at the demonic female GU master. "We met by coincidence in the wild, we are purely passing by. Sigh, making things difficult for you, is the same as making life hard for ourselves. I hope we do not meet again. Farewell." Saying so, he turned around and left. "Go where? She is only a rank 3 GU master, as long as we grasp that explosion method, we are assured to win." Bai Ningbing frowned. Fang Yuan snorted, "You are also rank 3, but I am rank 1. Let's hurry on the journey, stop creating so much troubles. Better safe than sorry." Bai Ningbing was stunned, but quickly understood Fang Yuan was acting. Although she did not know what he was planning, with her understanding of him, she decided to cooperate with him, pretending to be angry. "You are always so cowardly, sigh, never mind, I'll spare your life." She looked at the demonic female GU master deeply, not hiding her killing intent. Soon after, she followed Fang Yuan into the woods, out of the demonic female GU master's field of vision. After they got enough distance, Bai Ningbing broke the silence. "That explosion technique of hers is not a problem. When she fought me earlier, she did not use it. Only when she stepped into the cave and I got into range did the explosion occur. I'm guessing she buried the GU ahead of time, and cannot move it. We can lure a group of wild beasts and use them to test out her traps." These words fully displayed Bai Ningbing's talent for battle. But Fang Yuan laughed, asking instead, "Then what comes next?" Bai Ningbing was stunned. Fang Yuan squinted his eyes shining brightly. "According to what you said, luring a group of wild beasts to test her traps, so what? Forcing her into a dead end. Once she knows she has no chance to survive, she will risk her life to battle, at least bringing one of us with her. Even if we survive, we will suffer losses. Plus, even if we defeat her, she will carry the thought of not leaving anything valuable to us, and destroy all her GU worms. For a GU master to destroy his own GU worms, it only takes a thought. We have no method to prevent it, so after we kill her, we won't get any GU worms. What benefit is there to us?" Bai Ningbing frowned. Earlier, they had guarded against this demonic GU master, afraid of getting ambushed by her. It was to protect themselves. But once they found out that she was not too strong, their intentions changed completely. It was to kill this weakened demonic GU master, and take her GU worms, strengthening themselves. Wild GU worms were of all types, but those with suitable ranks and were easy to feed were few. A GU master's GU worms were all carefully selected, considering all aspects. If they can be obtained, it would be much better than capturing wild GU worms. But very few people can obtain GU worms after killing their enemies. Other than dying in battle, GU masters just need one thought to order the GU worm to destroy itself. Many of those defeated have enough time to react, and would not leave their GU worms to the mortal enemies that kill them. It would not be hard to kill this demonic GU master. But to take all her GU worms, it would be difficult. Don't you have a plunder GU? Bai Ningbing asked. One plunder GU can have little effect. Dealing with wild beasts is still fine, but against GU masters, to succeed we need to fulfill harsh conditions. Fang Yuan shook his head. Bai Ningbing suddenly thought of something, worried. If we leave like this and end up allowing her to escape easily, what would we do then? Fang Yuan laughed heartily, saying confidently, in the short period, she will not escape. Righteous GU masters, either clan or sect-based, would receive a degree of nurturing and had higher quality. Conversely, demonic GU masters were often uneven in quality. Some were traders of the righteous path, thus these people have been trained and have GU master foundations. However, some were farmers or hunters that obtained a chance to awaken their aperture, obtaining some inheritance and were considered half-baked. This demonic female GU master has a rough accent and poor fighting tactics. She does not have enough survival experience either. Everywhere she goes, she leaves behind traces, and even after getting injured, she does not conceal the blood traces. I see that her body is tough and healthy, having large hands and feet. She is most likely a farmer, only lucky to have gotten an inheritance. Fang Yuan continued analyzing, that explosion earlier should be a rank 2 grass GU that she buried in advance, called the charred thunder potato. No matter who steps on it, an explosion will occur. A farmer peasant, how much knowledge can she have? Getting python poison and being unable to cure it, with her worsening injuries, she feels frightened and unsafe, thus she subconsciously planted many charred thunder potatoes in front of the cave. If we force her, she might do some extreme things. But if we leave on purpose, she will have a breather and temporarily relax her emotions. She might even suspect whether or not did we truly leave. There are dangers outside, and she might encounter us. Meanwhile, those charred thunder potatoes give her the greatest assurance. Thus in this short period, she is not going to leave. Bai Ningbing was expressionless, listening quietly. As much as she denied it, she had to agree with Fang Yuan's analysis. What he said made sense, almost like he could see the events before him, she could not compare to him. You analyzed well, but she has poison on her, there is no way to drag. She will eventually leave the cave, Bai Ningbing retorted. Fang Yuan nodded, pointing at his right ear, thus, we have to surveil her. His earth communication ear grass GU, although only rank 2, had much greater range than most rank 3 GU worms. Bai Ningbing shook her head. HMPH, your decision has problems too. Activating the earth communication ear grass requires continuous primeval essence expenditure. Even if you have the heavenly essence treasure lotus and can recover primeval essence quickly, one person's effort is ultimately limited. You have to rest and sleep, you can't be checking on her all the time, right? Facing this suspicion, Fang Yuan rolled his eyes, how come you're becoming stupid? There is one of her and 2 of us. GU worms could be lent, so they could use the earth communication ear grass GU interchangeably, in intervals. Bai Ningbing's expression froze, shame flashing across her eyes. Fuck, such a simple issue, how could I not think of it? She gritted her teeth, begrudging her own lowly mistake. Fang Yuan laughed secretly. The root of the matter was that Bai Ningbing did not want Fang Yuan to suppress her, thus she subconsciously wanted to retort Fang Yuan as much as she could, instead causing her to lose her bearings instead. Fang Yuan was happy to see such retorts, for each time Bai Ningbing failed, it would cause her to be subdued further. This submission is negligible, but it was a subtle influence, and even Bai Ningbing herself could not detect it. One day when she finally realizes it, she would already be under Fang Yuan's rule. To Fang Yuan, this demonic female GU master was only one target, while Bai Ningbing was the second target. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Chen Kuihua was shell-shocked. She was originally a farmer, and one day when plowing the fields, she fell into a cave. In the cave, she found a corpse, and became a GU master after receiving the inheritance out of the blue. GU master. Chen Kuihua never thought that one day she would become one of the esteemed Lord GU masters herself. But after a short happiness, disaster ensued. A mountain leopard as large as a buffalo assaulted her village with green winds surrounding its body. The entire village was wiped out, and she was chased by the mountain leopard, but managed to escape due to her GU worms. After roaming the wilderness for half a year, her GU worms died out one by one, and finally, she encountered a large python. Although she killed it, she was also poisoned as a result. And today, she met 2 GU masters. This was the 3rd time she met GU masters. The first 2 taught her a painful lesson, letting her learn how to protect herself. But she was still a half-baked GU master, severely lacking foundations. Thinking of the earlier battle, she panicked. She was not the girl's match. Luckily, she had buried many charred thunder potatoes earlier. And thankfully, the male was meek and cowardly, choosing to leave. Chen Qiwa saw their bodies vanish into the forest and breathed a sigh of relief. But she was not certain that they had truly left. Her investigative GU worm could allow her to see everything within 350 steps. The clarity was as if they are right in front of her. But she did not have X-ray vision. I'll wait a few days, I'll go out after 3 days, Chen Qiwa thought to herself. At this point, she had already learned to be vigilant and patient. Chapter 211. Chapter 211, Road. High in the sky, the winds roared. Die! Lord Sky Crane screamed, using his remaining strength to turn into a white light, crashing towards first-generation GUU. You're too naive to think of killing me. Blood White opened his mouth, his fangs exposed, as he charged ahead. Bam! A large explosion occurred, the impact pushing the 2 away by a long distance. Both were injured. As long as the mountain remains, water continues to flow. Junior brother, remember today's grudge, I will repay it someday. First-generation GUU laughed loudly, activating his bat wings, trying to fly away. Suddenly a huge shadow appeared in the sky. He raised his head, only to see that heavily injured Ironbeak Flying Crane King. Not dead. Damn it, first-gen GUU's expression changed. Being intercepted by the Ironbeak Flying Crane King, Lord Sky Crane caught up and unleashed a pincer attack. Eventually, the Flying Crane King's corpse fell to the ground, while Blood White was completely destroyed. Lord Sky Crane grabbed first-generation GUU's head, floating in midair. After his gaze was scattered for a while, he finally regained his concentration. He raised his head and laughed 3 times, and then started crying. After venting his emotions, he flew towards Qingmao Mountain, but was suppressed by Bai Ningbing's self-detonation, forcing him to use the Life Burial Jade GU. After he broke out of the ice, he frantically searched around, but only found Fang Zheng, who was at his dying breath from under the ice. Dash. The images on the wall showed this scene truthfully. What happened next will be skipped. It is the scenery along the path Lord Sky Crane traveled. Immortal Crane sect is one of the oldest sects in the Middle Continent. In practice, when a person in the sect goes out for an emergency mission, they would bring along a GU worm that will record the process. Regardless of whether the mission succeeds, the GU master will return to the mountain and report the results, and the sect will evaluate the assessment based on the events that were recorded. Lord Sky Crane, although a sect elder, was also not freed from this rule. However, he was too senior in authority and barely any GU masters had the qualification to assess him in the sect, not even the current Immortal Crane sect leader could. But at this point, the elderly sitting in front of Lord Sky Crane was not an ordinary person. Supreme Elder Hefeng Yang, rank 6 GU master, titled Winged Crane Flying Immortal. He was wearing a white robe with a black belt, sitting on a futon with wide sleeves. His face looked like a youngster, smooth as jade. His eyebrows were green and long, extending to his waist. His eerie dark eyes stared at the scene in the wall, and then slowly retracted his gaze. Lord Sky Crane stood beside him politely, not even daring to breathe loudly. Truthfully speaking, Lord Sky Crane had been asleep for almost 1,000 years, and the Crane Immortal was still his junior. However, seniority was not determined by age, but by strength. Lord Sky Crane was rank 5, and although he was only a rank away from Hefeng Yang, this distance was like an entire world apart, the difference between heaven and earth. Rank 5 are mortals, rank 6 are immortals. Lord Sky Crane, Hefeng Yang spoke slowly, his voice as soothing as the calm river water. I am here, Lord Sky Crane quickly replied. Although you killed our sect's traitor this time, you did not manage to retrieve the Blood Skull GU. Instead, you were suppressed and toyed around by 2 juniors. In the room, Hefeng Yang's voice reverbed. Lord Sky Crane's head was hung even lower, showing signs of shame. However, one of them is the Northern Dark Ice Soul physique, no surprise you got suppressed. What's fortunate is that you tried to make amendments later. Let me ask you, the young man that you brought back, is he really the twin of the young man in the video? He Feng Yang asked. I've already investigated, it is so. The one that escaped is his older brother Fang Yuan, the one captured is the younger brother Fang Zheng. What's stranger is, these two are not on good terms. When I showed him the video of his brother slaughtering their clansmen, he hated his brother so much he would kill him on the spot. Lord Sky Crane laughed eerily. He Feng Yang nodded. It seems you have a plan, but do you have enough time? Lord Sky Crane's expression changed, his face turning solemn. Supreme Elder is right. My lifespan is at its limit, I am about to die, with only a few days left to live. Even the life burial Jade Gu cannot change my fate. His situation can only be resolved by finding a lifespan Gu, to solve the root problem. But lifespan Gu is hard to find, there are a few in Immortal Crane sect, but they are not for him. They are held in the hands of the sect leader and some supreme elders. Thus, I have given up my lifetime saving in Gu worms earlier, to exchange for a spirit incubating flea. I've brought Fang Zheng into our sect, and made him my pupil. Afterwards I will teach him, and refine the bloodkin worm. I will then incite him to kill his brother, and retrieve the blood skull Gu for our Immortal Crane sect. Lord Sky Crane said. He Feng Yang raised his eyebrows. It sounds like you are confident of your plans. But, will that Fang Zheng really be manipulated by you? Although he had good talent, he is after all a kid. After I die, and store my soul in the spirit incubating flea, I will accompany him to grow, and advise him in cultivation. The road has already been paved for him, all he has to do is to walk. Saying so, Lord Sky Crane kneeled on the ground, begging, please give me another chance Supreme Elder. He Feng Yang was solemn, before saying, never mind, this might be your last attempt anyway. Thank you Elder, thank you Elder. Lord Sky Crane was overjoyed. Go, I await your good news. Within 20 years, I will attain success. Lord Sky Crane was excited and his tone was trembling, as he made his way out. Southern borders, Wancheng Mountain, Tai Clan City. The tall thick black rock walls, extended thousands of li. Tai Clan City was built at the upper half of the mountain, many rock houses, steel towers, lined up and extended to the mountain peak. The sunlight shone down on people who moved about in the city, carriages, horses and crowds, showing off a scene of prosperity. Clan Leader Pavilion is situated at the mountain peak, heavily defended, and have little people moving around. Patrolling groups take turns and the GU masters are all vigilant, with not a hint of slack. On top of the Clan Leader Pavilion, two people were standing. A middle-aged man with a face cold as steel, with some warmth in his eyes. Beside him was a young girl, having a sad but determined gaze. It was Tai Ruo Nan. You've only been back for a few days, right? This is the 19th time you are asking me. I am extremely upset by your father's death. You lost your mother early, and now your father too, but you must remember, you have me, your uncle. You are my niece, I will not put you in danger. Tai Clan Leader sighed. Tai Ruo Nan's eyes were shining, staring straight at Tai Clan Leader. Uncle, do you know? Although father passed away, I feel happy for him amidst my sadness. Father has spent his life eliminating evil, punishing crime. He did it, even with his injuries he did not back down. He walked on his path and finished it with resolution. And now, it is time for me to do the same. Tai Clan Leader was stunned. This moment, he could see Tai Xie Leng's shadow in Tai Ruo Nan. So similar, these eyes, this gaze. In his recollection, he seemed to have returned to his younger days, with Tai Xie Leng by his side, staring at the demon suppression tower at the peak of the mountain, saying with determination, I will bring down all crime in this world, and fill the world with justice and love. Locking all demonic GU masters in the demon suppression tower, even if I have to fill it up. The oath back then, was still echoing in his ears. But his friend is no longer around. Seeing the two images overlap, Tai Clan Leader shook his head, dispelling the memories. He looked at the adamant Tai Ruo Nan with an admiring, loving, worried, and encouraging gaze. The path that you chose is not an easy one. TRN did not answer, but looked at the mountain peak. On Wancheng Mountain's peak area, there is a majestic steel tower. Its aura was overwhelming, like it is holding up the heavens, stepping on the mountains. The white clouds surround it like a mist, causing others to see it in a foggy image, adding a hint of mystery to the tower. This tower is not only famous in the southern borders, but also famous all over the world, even in Middle Continent many people know of it. Demon Suppression Tower. The tower itself is over 300 meters tall, with almost 100 floors. It was designed to be rustic and ancient, overflowing with righteousness. Since it was built, hundreds, thousands, and even 10,000 demonic GU masters have been imprisoned by Tai clan. Even Tai clan leader was not sure. It was the symbol of righteousness, the pride of the Tai GU masters. It is also the resting place for many demonic cultivators, leaving behind their anguish, regret, indignance, and remorse. Demonic GU masters pale when talking about it, and righteous GU masters dance in pride when speaking of it. Tai Ruo Nan opened her mouth, her tone determined, like she was talking to Tai clan leader, and also herself. Wan Cheng Mountain Peak has a demon suppression tower. My heart also has a demon suppression tower. This path, father could not finish walking on it, I will walk it for him. I can't hold on much longer. Chen Kuihua felt her head spinning, feeling sick and wanting to vomit at times. But she had nothing to vomit, and her body felt weak, as a sense of lethargy hit her. Her plan was hold on for 3 days, but a day had passed and she knew she was too optimistic. The danger the python poison caused her was worsening. She knew she was being forced into a dead end. She needed to find a healing GU worm as soon as possible. God damn it, if not for those 2 bastards, I might have caught a wild GU and cured my poison already. She felt uneasy. After getting poisoned, she had been trying to find a healing GU, but amidst the large forest, filled with danger, she did not have any catching methods and have no made any progress. Bai Ningbing raised her dagger, cutting towards her right ear. Hold it. Fang Yuan stretched out his arm, grabbing Bai Ningbing's limb. The sharp knife was only a millimeter away from her right ear. To use the earth-hearing ear grass, one needed to cut off their right ear and replace it. It was just a ear, nothing much, especially compared to the rewards. Bai Ningbing did not feel any hesitation. Demonic cultivators were ruthless in nature, ruthless to others, and even more to themselves. Only people like who can give up what is needed and can have a great achievement. No need to do so, she's out. Fang Yuan said, starting to move. He used the earth-hearing ear grass, following Chen Kuihua from far away. Not long later, he heard fighting noises. The 2 moved closely with the dense shrubs, following behind secretly, only to see this demonic female GU master fighting with a twin-headed boar. After watching for a while, their eyes shone with excitement. Chen Kuihua's situation was disastrous, her battle strength was lower than ordinary by a large margin. This twin-headed boar is a 100-beast king, having a defensive GU. This is a battle of attrition, we can take advantage of them. She really buried the charred thunder potato GU. A bit strange, this GU master fought for so long, why isn't her primeval essence running out? It seems she has some support GU like the heavenly essence treasure lotus, or fish bubble GU etc. After another short while, Fang Yuan saw that the time was right, and called the stealth scales GU, handing it to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing understood and nodded in agreement, hiding her body and getting closer secretly. Bam! Another explosion occurred, the twin-headed boar stepped on another charred thunder potato GU. This time, it fell for good, never getting up again. It laid on the ground, continuing to struggle as its stomach was blown open. Its intestines started to flow out as its blood oozed out. This damn boar, what a thick skin. Only after so many explosions did it die. Chen Kuihua breathed roughly, leaning against a tree, seeing darkness ahead of her. This battle drained her last remaining energy, as extremely fatigue hit her. The fear in her heart sustained her, preventing her from just fainting immediately. No, I have to hurry back to the cave. If I collapse in the wild, it will be too dangerous. She was about to move, when she felt wind by her ears. Strange, how can there be wind? This was the last question in her lifetime. Bai Ningbing patiently got closer, and struck like lightning. She used the boar's death, to cause the demonic female GU master to let down her guard, then killed her in one strike. Chen Kuihua's brain was smashed by the chainsaw golden centipede, as her headless body plopped on the ground. We did it. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, walking over quickly. Bai Ningbing had already squatted down, her mind entering Chen Kuihua's aperture, slightly disappointed. There's only 3 GU in the aperture. GU worms that were refined by GU masters were slightly rigid, not as witty as wild GU worms. The demonic female GU master was dead. Her aperture started to get dark, as the 3 GU worms remained inside. But this was no problem for Fang Yuan. Plunder GU, he willed, easily retrieving these 3 GU. They were 1 rice bag grass GU, 1 iron thorn thistle GU, and a charred thunder bean mother GU. These were not all. Fang Yuan searched around, and found a hairy-legged GU in the demonic female GU master, a jumping grass GU. Lastly he found a bookworm in her smashed brain matter. Unfortunately, this bookworm had already been killed by Bai Ningbing's attack earlier. This bookworm has to be the inheritance item. The information inside helped her to learn many things about GU masters, it should have some secret recipes etc. Fang Yuan said in pity. Never mind the bookworm, there's no healing GU in this demonic GU master. Bai Ningbing was greatly disappointed. Fang Yuan was solemn, not speaking. He expected her to not have a healing GU already, since she was poisoned, and if she had a healing GU, even if it could not remove the poison, she would not be in such a bad state. What he felt weird was, in the battle earlier, this demonic GU master's performance was weird. Especially in terms of primeval essence, her recovery speed surpassed a grade, in par with the 10 extreme physiques. But she was not a 10 extreme physique, only having a grade talent, and among these GU worms, none could help recover primeval essence. So this is how the breasts are tied. At this time, Bai Ningbing unfolded the demonic female GU master's breast wraps. Fang Yuan's gaze was fixated on the silver triangle tattoo on the corpse's breasts. The third watch GU. Fang Yuan was surprised. Third watch 1 GU, what's that? Bai Ningbing raised her eyebrows. This GU is rank 5, able to accelerate time by 3 times. It is gone after 1 use, an expenditure type GU. Once used on a GU master, it will form a silver triangle tattoo on their chest. Soon after, Fang Yuan explained in detail. Third watch GU, when used on a GU master, caused their time to flow 3 times as fast. The river of time, flowing at its pace, measured at a singular speed. To normal people, a day is a day. But to the third watch GU's user, a day is akin to 3 days condensed into 1. Chen Kuihua, who had the third watch GU, experienced rapid cultivation growth. When others used 1 day to nurture their aperture, she used 3. The difference in speed is evidently seen. There is another advantage, that is primeval essence recovery. On her, the river of time flows faster, 3 times of normal people. Thus, her primeval essence recover is also 3 times. This is also why, in the battle earlier, her recovery was something that caught Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing by surprise. But everything has 2 sides, good and bad. With such a great effect, the third watch GU has an equivalent weakness. The worst was, it expended lifespan. When time flows 3 times as fast, her lifespan shrinks in proportion, reduced to a third of the original. Chen Kuihua only got her inheritance for less than a year, but to her it was almost 3 years. Also, any injuries or illnesses that required time to aggravate, would intensify on her. The green python's poison needed time to infiltrate her body and worsen. When others get poisoned, they experience the worsening of poison at a daily rate. But to her, it was 3 days worth of worsening every day. This is also why the poison affected her so greatly. To be given this third watch GU, it seems this woman's inheritance is at least a rank 5 inheritance. Unfortunately, it had gone to waste, falling in the hands of such a person. Bai Ningbing snorted, looking at the headless corpse in disdain. In the long run, the third watch GU's danger is huge, shrinking the GU master's life to a third. But the truth is, this GU is very useful to a demonic GU master. Demonic GU masters fight alone, without any clan or sect support. They also have to guard against the ganged attack of the righteous faction, and thus put survival as their priority. Only living is important, everything else can be discarded. The higher their cultivation, the greater their chances to survive. Third watch GU can condense a GU master's life, displaying their full potential at once, like the sakura blossoms, or fireworks, short-lived but brilliance. But without the third watch GU, the sakura's buds won't grow in time, and would have been uprooted already. This is nothing strange, those who use the third watch GU are all courageous and forward-looking people. But this woman had a different personality, weak and meek, like dragging and have no courage to move ahead. Thus she ended up like this, it is life. Fang Yuan gave the corpse a final look, before concluding. Bai Ningbing's expression was ugly. Without a healing GU, what outcome would they face? This demonic female GU master was the best example. Would this be her future as well? Fang Yuan laughed instead, patting her shoulders, consoling, the paths in this world are carved out by humans. Everyone has their own paths, no matter how wide others' path is, it might not suit you. We are both walking on our own paths, what is there to worry? Hearing so, Bai Ningbing's expression froze, before lightening up, nodding, you are right. Fang Yuan squinted, gazing at the dense forest ahead. After killing this demonic GU master, and obtaining her GU worms, his strength increased tremendously. But he knows that he lacked a healing GU, and did not place his hopes in his luck. From now on, he might get a healing GU, or be like this demonic female GU master, not getting anything even until death. Or the next moment, he might get trampled by wild beasts and die, ending his ambitions. But so what? Stepping on his path, and continuing forward, that is all there is to do. Chapter 212. Chapter 212. Monkey Brain Delicacy. Swish swish swish. In the aperture, waves of primeval essence ebb and flow, rushing towards the surrounding aperture walls. The sea was jade green, crashing continuously. It was rank 1 initial stage primeval essence. Rank 1 GU masters have green copper primeval essence, initial stage being jade, middle stage is pale green, upper stage is dark green and peak stage is black green. The surrounding aperture walls were shining brightly. Under the attack of the jade green waves, his foundation was slowly built up. Afterwards, the white light burst, and dimmed. White light condensed with each other, forming a water-ish light ripple. At this point, the aperture light wall turned into a water wall. Finally, from rank 1 initial stage to middle stage, a light excitement emerged in Fang Yuan's heart. Initial stage aperture walls are light walls, middle stage is water walls. Once the water walls are created, it means Fang Yuan was back to rank 1 middle stage. It has been over 20 days since we killed that demonic female GU master. During this period, I've been cultivating non-stop, not wasting a single minute. It is no wonder I advanced to middle stage. Fang Yuan slowly opened his eyes. What a pity I do not have the liquor worm on me, otherwise my cultivation would be even faster. Liquor worm can cause a GU master's primeval essence to be refined into one small realm higher. Using it to assist in cultivation, can achieve a greater result with less effort. Since Fang Yuan's rebirth, other than the spring-autumn cicada, the first GU worm he got was the liquor worm. After that, he purchased a second one and refined the two into the 4-flavor liquor worm. A pity though, was that the 4-flavor liquor worm only works on rank 2 GU masters, being useless to the current Fang Yuan. The truth is, Fang Yuan had gotten 3 liquor worms in Qingmao Mountain. The third was from Gu Yu Yao Li's body. This liquor worm was kept in Fang Yuan's hands, but after the Tai father and daughter came, to prevent himself from getting exposed, and being worried about Tai Xieleng's investigative methods, he destroyed the liquor worm along with his other loots. After it happened, whether it was the right move or not, since Fang Yuan did it, he had no regrets. Even though now, if he had kept the liquor worm, it would be used to him, but at least, during that time, it did not allow the Tai father and daughter to investigate the matter on Gu Yu Yaola. If I reverse refine the 4-flavor liquor worm, I can get the rank 1 liquor worm, but there are many requirements to reverse refine, I cannot fulfill the conditions. GU masters nurture GU, use GU, refine GU. For refining GU, it is split into fusion and reverse refinement. Fusion is to turn low-rank GU worms into a higher rank. Reverse is the opposite. To reverse refine the 4-flavor liquor worm, there are many ways. Using the prodigal son GU, will obtain 2 rank 1 liquor worms. Using the revert GU, only 1 liquor worm is obtained. The butterfly transformation GU will get the eerie chi butterfly. Using the unpredictable GU, what GU is obtained will be unknown, possibly something new altogether. For Fang Yuan, the best case was the prodigal son GU. But prodigal GU was rarer than the liquor worm, and was hard to obtain. Best case scenario was revert GU. Using revert GU, although he will lose a liquor worm, Fang Yuan would not hesitate to do it. Retaining the 4-flavor liquor worm, and wait for rank 2 cultivation, that is under a safe environment. Now that Fang Yuan was in danger all the time, everything he does has to be for survival. The higher his cultivation rose, higher the chances to live. Cheep cheep cheep. Outside the cave, monkey screeches and footsteps could be heard. Fang Yuan's ears twitched, he was familiar with the owner of the footsteps. As expected, not long after, Bai Ningbing appeared. Her entire body was covered in a layer of thorn clothing. This special clothing is completely made of green vines and black sharp thorns, giving Bai Ningbing defense and also used for attacking purposes. To those fighting barehanded, these thorns that were as sturdy as steel would leave a lasting impression on them. This thistle shirt was formed by the iron thorn thistle GU. After killing the demonic female GU master, Bai Ningbing wanted this rank 3 grass GU, requesting for it and refining it as her life-bound GU. So troublesome. Every time I leave and return, I have to be so careful of those charred thunder potatoes. Can't you bury less of them? She said as she begrudged, staring at the ground below her, jumping around as she avoided some pitfalls. Better to be safe than sorry. Fang Yuan replied lightly, turning his gaze towards Bai Ningbing's waist. On her waist was a string of monkeys. These monkeys were tiny, the largest was merely arm length. They had round heads, and thick black monkey hair, smooth and shiny. What was most prominent, was the tree leaves growing on their waists. These green leaves formed a circle, linked together around the monkey's hip bone and butt, like a grass skirt. These were the grass skirt monkeys. The grass skirt monkeys were delicious, being the source of food for Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing these days. These captured grass skirt monkeys were aware of their outcomes, struggling intensely but to no avail. The entire cave reverbed with their cries and horrified screams. It was lunchtime. Grill them, I am a little hungry. Bai Ningbing rubbed her tummy, throwing the tied grass skirt monkeys on the ground. Let me prepare them first, you can grill them later. Your grilled meat tastes much better than mine. She squatted down, about to kill them. Fang Yuan stopped her. Let me teach you a new eating method. Afterwards, he moved his finger, and a GU flew out of Bai Ningbing's aperture with a bloody light. The blood light landed on Fang Yuan's palm, turning into a blood moon insignia. It was blood moon GU. Fang Yuan's palm started to glow with red light. Although the blood moon GU was rank 3, Fang Yuan was not using it to attack, thus he could still barely control it. Bai Ningbing did not know his intentions, her blue eyes staring intensely. Only to see Fang Yuan stretching his hand, raising a grass skirt monkey. He grabbed its neck, causing its head to be unable to move. Soon after, the palm shining with red light landed on the monkey's head, and circled one round. Back then, he used the moonlight GU to open the gambling rocks, now he used the blood moon GU to cut the monkey's head. After one round, Fang Yuan's primeval essence hit rock bottom. As the red light vanished from his palm, Fang Yuan smiled as he grabbed the monkey's head, pulling it, and opened its skull. The white monkey brain was revealed from within. The grass skirt monkey struggled profusely, screaming in utter pain, its shrill screams echoed in the cave. But Fang Yuan has the strength of 2 boars, his arms like steel, not moving at all. The grass skirt monkey's limbs were tender and did not have claws, unable to harm Fang Yuan at all even if it tried. Have a taste of this fresh monkey brain. Saying so, Fang Yuan handed a spoon to Bai Ningbing. Like this, raw. Bai Ningbing, looking at the white brain with some blood traces, hesitated. Fang Yuan smiled, demonstrating. He placed the spoon into the monkey brain, scooping and placing it into his mouth. As he swallowed, the brain flowed down his throat. At that moment, the grass skirt monkey's screams intensified, its body spazzing like it was electrocuted. Bai Ningbing tried too, scooping the monkey brain and placing it into her mouth. At once, a fragrant grass smell spread from her tongue, without a tint of blood. Like the texture of bean curd, with just a little strength, the entire monkey brain melts in your mouth, with a little sweetness, giving a refreshing taste, in the entire mouth. Her throat gulped, swallowing this monkey brain. Her blue eyes shone with bright light, crystal clear, as the fairy-like face showed an enjoying expression. So incredibly delicious, the young girl exclaimed. Only this grass skirt monkey can have such a taste. Their brain is a natural delicacy. Fang Yuan said as he scooped another into his mouth. He advanced to middle stage, and it calls for a mini celebration. This monkey brain is a good reward. Bai Ningbing laughed heartily, moving faster than before, swallowing the second mouthful. This grass skirt monkey, whose skull was cut open, after a temporary madness, was at death's door. Its bright jewel-like eyes had already turned dim. Other grass skirt monkeys, seeing their companions' state, struggling like crazy trying to escape. Under the restraint of the ropes, their struggles were futile, only allowing them to roll around on the ground. Eating this monkey brain feels like eating ice cream on earth. The two worked together and very quickly finished this monkey brain. One more, one more. Bai Ningbing did not have enough, licking her lips and waving the spoon, demanding. Fang Yuan's primeval essence had recovered to 90% already. He did the same thing and cut open another skull. At once, the two continued their meal, satisfied. In the cave, the echoes of the screaming grass skirt monkeys were shrill and painfully heard. After eating the monkey brains, they grilled the monkey meat. The monkey meat of the grass skirt monkey were fresh and succulent, especially their breast meat. The entire taste was like fish grilled on bamboo leaves. Rice bag grass. Fang Yuan willed, and a green light shot out of his aperture. The light landed on the ground, growing green buds. In a few breaths' time, the bud grew into leaves, and the leaves expanded, turning into vines. The vines extended, and after covering 10 meters, a few branches grew large leaves. These leaves looked like buckets. Firstly, only a finger could fit. But eventually, it became fist size, bowl size, and finally ripe. Bai Ningbing meticulously plucked a leaf. Opening the leaves at the top, rice could be seen inside. Large plump kernels, perfectly white. Bai Ningbing raised her head and opened her mouth, pouring a mouthful of rice into her mouth. After chewing, she ate some monkey meat to add some flavor. Eating till full is satisfaction. She exclaimed. How are those grass skirt monkeys? Fang Yuan asked. Bai Ningbing's mind came back. No issue if we do not enter that forest deeply. But once we do, 3 monkey kings show up. The wine you want to get is at the most central area of the forest, it will not be easy to obtain. Chapter 213. Chapter 213, Pitfall. In this world, humans weren't the only ones who knew how to brew wines. The earliest records of wine came from the legend of Renzu. Renzu's 2 eyes turned into his eldest son Verdant Great Sun and daughter Desolate Ancient Moon. Verdant Great Sun was always with Desolate Ancient Moon, and this close association created feelings towards his own sister. However, Desolate Ancient Moon refused his wooing. Verdant Great Sun was annoyed because of this, and knew he needed some help, thus he asked the Wisdom Gu. At first, the Wisdom Gu ignored him and avoided him as much as it could. But Verdant Great Sun kept on persevering, and the Wisdom Gu couldn't endure this annoyance anymore, so it told him away. In the east dwells a group of honey peach monkeys. Drink the wine brewed by them and come find me. Thus, Verdant Great Sun went to the east and drank the wine. The wine brewed by the honey peach monkeys was fruit wine. And ever since Verdant Great Sun drank the wine and returned, his face had a rosy flush. He smacked his lips as he recalled the taste. So, wine is sweet. The Wisdom Gu smiled and said, in the west lies a group of psychic monkeys. Go taste the wine brewed by them. The wine brewed by psychic monkeys was bitter wine. Verdant Great Sun went to the west and drank the wine. Since then, his tongue had a yellowish-brown hue to it. He recalled the taste with a bitter expression. So, wine can also be bitter. Wisdom Gu said to him again, wine is both bitter and sweet, love is the same and human lives are even more so. At the north dwells a group of Vajra monkeys. They also brew wine, go taste it. The Vajra monkeys brewed strong wine. Verdant Great Sun enjoyed this wine very much, and drank till he was dead drunk. He felt this wine was really to his taste, and wanted to drink even more after getting drunk. He drank from the bowl at first before trying to drink it directly from the wine jar. Finally, he started throwing up. The wine started showing its effects, making him feel an unbearable pain. He felt the insides of his body was on fire, as if lava was flowing through them. It's too hot, he screamed. All the fire flowed in reverse towards his head and his hair started burning. From then on, his hair burned endlessly like fire. When Verdant Great Sun woke up, he saw the Wisdom Gu looking at him. What did you think of the strong wine? The Wisdom Gu asked. Verdant Great Sun heaved a sigh. I understand now, no matter how good the wine is, you will vomit it out if you drink too much, everything should be taken with moderation. The Wisdom Gu laughed out loudly. In the north dwells a group of Skywater monkeys. Their wine is also quite good, go taste it. Skywater monkey's wine was clear wine and was completely opposite of the strong wine. Verdant Great Sun lightly tasted the wine, and the moment he did so, he completely forgot all his worries and felt like he was floating in the air, with a hazy and intoxicated look in his eyes. The Wisdom Gu again asked him about his experience. He lightly waved his hands. Having known the joys of wine, I will not pass it on to those who are sober. The Wisdom Gu chuckled and left quietly. Thus, humans weren't the first species to brew wine, rather it was the monkeys who were ahead of the humans. Ordinary monkey groups all knew how to brew wine. The wines were different from one monkey group to another, with all kinds of taste. However, humans collectively called the wine brewed by the monkeys as monkey wine. Fang Yuan had chosen this cave to rest because he sensed the sign of the breakthrough in his cultivation and stopped at this cave to concentrate on breaking through the bottleneck. Another reason was for the monkey wine. The higher the rank of the Gu worms, the more food they consumed and at the same time, the period for their feeding increased. Fang Yuan had made sufficient preparations, but there was a limit to the storage capacity of the two-seed flour. After the consumption in this whole journey, there was some space cleared up which would be more than enough to store some monkey wine. Wine had other uses as well, disinfecting the wounds and warming the body. The reverse refinement of 4 flavors liquor worm also required wine as an auxiliary ingredient. Even if the conditions for the reverse refinement weren't met, Having wine as a backup food for the 4 flavors liquor worm was good enough. However, getting the monkey wine wasn't easy. This grass skirt monkey groups were 100 beasts group, but their scale was close to that of the 1000 beasts group, and had 300 beast monkey kings. Monkeys were a united bunch and faced their enemies in groups. Bai Ningbing might be a rank 3 peak stage GU master, but she was alone, and trying to brute force her way through would only lead to disaster. And although Fang Yuan had advanced to rank 1 middle stage, the amount of help his advancement could give was next to nothing in this situation. However, Fang Yuan was determined to get the monkey wine, and Bai Ningbing was worried about this. So, we need to use our brains, follow me. Fang Yuan stood up and patted Bai Ningbing's shoulder. He carefully stepped on the ground, avoiding the buried charred thunder potato, and walked out of the cave. Outside the cave were lush trees, bright sunlight, with the bird songs and fragrance of flowers in the air. In moments, the two neared the territory of the monkey groups. Fang Yuan carefully observed and finally chose a sloped area. He surveyed the area from the higher grounds before nodding his head in satisfaction. He stepped around on the ground and said, "Let's dig here." After enough time passed for an incense stick to burn, this sloped area that faced the sun was dug out by the two, with a depth of 30 feet and a diameter of 50 feet. Charred Thunder Potato Mother GU. Fang Yuan crouched on the bottom of this pit, and summoned the GU with a thought. This GU resembled a potato, with uneven surface and tiny little holes all over it. Regardless of its appearance, it was a genuine rank 3 GU. "My primeval essence won't be enough, I will lend it to you." Fang Yuan handed the Charred Thunder Potato Mother GU to Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing held the GU and poured her primeval essence to it. Soon, green sprouts sprouted out from those tiny little holes in the Potato Mother GU's surface. The sprouts grew rapidly, blossomed and bore fruit. After several breaths of time, the finger-thick dark green fruit was fully matured. The sprout withered and came falling down with the fruit on Bai Ningbing's hands. Fang Yuan took these dark green fruits and carefully filtered through them, removing the bad, dead or empty shells. After the selection, there were less than 1/3 of the fruits left. These fruits were the Charred Thunder Potato GU, a rank 2 GU. Once they were buried in the ground, they grew with the help of the fertility of the soil, and as long as any living being stepped near it, the vibration would cause the Charred Thunder Potato GU to self-detonate. Fang Yuan held one of the fruits and refined it instantly. As he pinched it in between his fingers, he poured his green copper primeval essence towards it. The Charred Thunder Potato GU started giving off a faint green light and slowly hovered up. With a shift of his mind, the Charred Thunder Potato GU quickly drilled into the ground. Fang Yuan deliberately buried it deep on the ground, stopping only when the potato GU was buried an arm's length into the ground. The primeval sea in his aperture rapidly decreased as the surrounding fertility of the soil gathered towards the Charred Thunder Potato GU. In Fang Yuan's perception, this tiny grass GU instantly grew up to a fist-sized potato. This was a matured Charred Thunder Potato GU which could explode with even a slight vibration. Bai Ningbing marveled at this scene. Looks like that demonic path female GU master buried the Charred Thunder Potato GU near the surface of the earth, making it easy to self-detonate. The way you buried it, it should not explode even if I step above it, right? Naturally, Fang Yuan replied and continued on his work. Bai Ningbing's mouth twitched. Fang Yuan didn't reply her properly, and with her proud demeanor, she didn't question anymore, but rather concentrated her gaze and began to ponder upon it herself. After being with Fang Yuan for such a long time, she knew Fang Yuan never made useless moves. Fang Yuan stood up only after burying this layer of the pit. He wiped the sweat on his forehead before calling Bai Ningbing to bury the pit together. But after just covering the pit for a bit, when the bottom of the pit was raised by 15 feet, Fang Yuan ordered to stop, then he continued burying another Charred Thunder Potato GU. Bai Ningbing immediately realized Fang Yuan's plan upon seeing this. So it was like that. Charred Thunder Potato GU is only a rank 2 GU and self-detonation of just one has a limited power. By burying them like this, once they explode, even 1000 Beast Kings might not get off easy. But how will you lure those 3 Monkey Kings here? Charred Thunder Potato GU was an offensive GU, but it couldn't be moved, which greatly lowered its practical value. How difficult can that be? At the opportune time, we will just capture 2 to 3 young grass skirt monkeys and taste their brains here. At that time, their miserable screeches will definitely attract the furious monkey groups. It will only be ordinary monkey groups at first which you will be able to block and fend off. Then it should be those 3 Monkey Kings. Fang Yuan replied while burying the grass GU. Bai Ningbing couldn't help nodding her head. Wild beasts were wild beasts, possessing limited intelligence. Fang Yuan's plan might be very rough, but it was absolutely practical. As long as we kill the 3 monkey kings, getting the monkey wine will be as easy as a pie. Of course, it will be even better if we can take the GU worms on those monkey kings. Bai Ningbing mulled over it. Following this, they spent the whole afternoon in this pit. Bai Ningbing produced the charred thunder potato GU continuously, after which Fang Yuan would personally bury them into the ground, and then the two would bury that layer of soil. After one layer of soil was another layer of soil, till the pit was filled to the surface. The two were drenched in sweat. Fortunately, Fang Yuan possessed the strength of 2 boars and Bai Ningbing had also fully cultivated the strength of 1 crocodile. However, the next day, Fang Yuan wasn't showing any signs of stopping and continued to dig out another pit. Bai Ningbing was puzzled by it. Fang Yuan replied, "Just 1 pit isn't enough of a guarantee, there should always be backup plans. Being a bit more prepared is always a good thing." Like this, in the following 3 days, Bai Ningbing finally became aware of Fang Yuan's close to perverted cautiousness. They had dug no less than 5 pits and buried great numbers of charred thunder potato GU. Naturally, the scale of the first pit was the greatest. Due to all these preparations, the grass skirt monkey plan went by extremely smoothly. The monkey groups were all defeated with just 2 pitfalls. Out of the 3 monkey kings, 2 died and 1 was injured. The injured monkey king escaped with the remaining monkey groups. The dead monkey kings were blasted to pieces, the GU worms on them didn't survive. Fang Yuan stored great amounts of monkey wine till the 2-seed of flour couldn't store any more. The amount of wine was enough to reverse refine the 4 flavors liquor worm. There wouldn't be a problem in feeding the liquor worm for at least 2 years. And if they came across a caravan, these monkey wine could also be sold for good price. Before we go on, we need to clean the battlefield and fill up the 2 exploded pits. Is there a necessity for such cautiousness? Bai Ningbing felt pain whenever she thought of the pitfalls. Now, Fang Yuan glanced at her before saying one sentence which made Bai Ningbing obediently work. "Did you forget how we chased that demonic path female GU master? It was by relying on the tracks left by the demonic path female GU master on her way. Those pitfalls that you dug, don't end up burying yourself with it." Chapter 214. Chapter 214. Boom. Bai GU Mountain, I am finally here. Fang Yuan sighed as he stared at the white mountain from a slope. Bai Ningbing was beside him, standing silently. The two were in rags with tiredness showing all over their faces. Just earlier, they had escaped from the Steel Rage Boar's family of 5. Steel Rage Boars were a peculiar beast group, having small numbers and moved around in families of less than 10 members. But any mature Steel Rage Boars were at least 100 Beast King. In the family of 5 that was chasing after Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, Grandpa Boar was 1,000 Beast King, while Daddy Boar and Mother Boar were 100 Beast Kings, and even their son and daughter had rank 1 GU worms in them. It has been 5 days since they stole the monkey wine. After a long and arduous journey, Bai GU Mountain was finally in reach. The southern border was full of mountains. Ordinary hills were not called mountains, only when they were at least 10,000 feet can they be qualified to be called a mountain. Bai Ningbing stood on the slope, staring at the faraway mountain. This was her first time seeing Bai GU Mountain. There were many hills surrounding the Qingmao Mountain. But this Bai GU Mountain was like a solitary general, rising high above the ground while the surroundings were flat, and the scenery around it was deathly white. This white was not the snow-like white, but more of a bone-white color. Bai GU Mountain, as the name implied, every rock on the mountain were made of bones. People called it bone rocks. Bai GU Mountain was not an absolute dead area, there were many special vegetation and large numbers of bone beasts living here. At the same time there were many bone-type wild GU worms. Bai Ningbing looked and looked, frowning. Any tall mountain and long river were the condensation ground of primeval essence. Bai GU Mountain was uninhabited, a completely wild mountain. There were many wild beasts, GU worms and fatal plants. This is such a dangerous place, yet Fang Yuan insists on entering the mountain. What intentions does he have? Or rather, what thing was there that deeply attracted him? Fang Yuan was flipping through his memories at this moment. Bai GU Mountain was still a wild mountain now, without any human inhabitants. But this situation will change completely 10 years later. A large-size village will move their base here and develop. This clan was named Bai, the Bai village. In the future, with Bai GU Mountain as their center, they would become the overlord of the surrounding 1,000 miles of land. What Fang Yuan remembers most clearly is not the rise of the Bai village's power, because in this world, a single person's strength can be above a group's. Rather, he was thinking of a pair of twins in the Bai village. Bai Sheng and Bai Hua. This pair of siblings discovered a cave by accident during a test at Bai Jiu Mountain's back area, when they were 18. In this cave, they activated an inheritance. It was a complete inheritance of a rank 4 righteous Jiu master. This Jiu master's name was unknown, only his title was left behind, Flesh Bone Lord. Bai Sheng and Bai Hua benefited greatly from this, and became the twin stars of the righteous path after getting the inheritance. 100 years later, they both rose to rank 5, taking over Bai village. The strength of 2 rank 5 Jiu masters pushed the clan's strength to an apex. The Jiu worms in a complete inheritance would cover all 6 aspects of attack, healing, defense, movement, storage and investigation. After getting this inheritance, I will be able to hold my own and have the ability to advance or retreat. Earlier when Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing escaped from Qingmao Mountain, their Jiu worms were not well rounded because of their low cultivation. They were like a boat moving against the tides, moving up the cliff. With just a little bad luck, they would be in danger. After a tough struggle, their chance came, and they killed a heavily injured demonic female Jiu master. By taking her Jiu, which included the rice bag Jiu and jumping grass Jiu, they could barely get by. But they still had weaknesses. Not only due to the lack of healing Jiu, but also because of their low cultivation. Even if Fang Yuan advanced to rank 1 middle stage, so what? Green copper primeval essence was still green copper primeval essence. What he was relying on now was his A-grade talent and the heavenly essence treasure lotus, recovery speed to sustain his consumption. But to be strict, his battle strength was negligible. If not for Bai Ningbing he might have died to the crocodiles during the battle in the beach. He was able to get this far due to Bai Ningbing. But relying on others could never compare to relying on oneself. If I can get the Bai Jiu Mountain inheritance, many problems would be easily resolved. Fang Yuan thought to himself. Firstly, it was the Jade Bones Jiu. With this Jiu, the bones in his body would cast away the brittleness of mortal bones, and become more firm and tougher. His current body can only sustain the strength of 2 boars, but after he used the Jade Bones Jiu, he would be able to add the strength of a crocodile on top of this. After that was a healing Jiu. Fang Yuan remembered this inheritance has a very famous rank 3 healing Jiu, Flesh White Bones. In his previous life, it was received by Bai Hua, causing her to become a famous healing Jiu master. Finally, it was the one Fang Yuan ranked as the most important, Bone Flesh Unity Jiu. This Jiu was the Bone Flesh Lord's innovation, the only one in the world. This Gu's incredible usage riled up many large forces in the southern borders, in his previous life. If Jiu worms were to be classified according to their use, they could be divided into 7 categories. Attack, defense, healing, investigation, storage, movement and cultivation. Liquor worm, 4-flavor liquor worm, man-beast burial Jiu, relic Jiu, or heavenly essence treasure lotus, they were all under cultivation category. And this bone flesh unity Jiu was a mystical Jiu under the cultivation category. Similar to yin-yang rotation Jiu, it was a pair of Jiu, used on 2 Jiu masters. It could let the 2 Jiu masters undergo dual cultivation one and advance their cultivation together, getting greater effects with less effort. If I can obtain the bone flesh unity Jiu, with Bai Ningbing's help, I can advance my cultivation quickly. My cultivation will be shocking after I reach rank 3 stage. Especially in early stages, its effects will be even better than the liquor worm. I must get it no matter what. Fang Yuan glanced at Bai Ningbing through the corner of his eyes. Bai Ningbing realized nothing, still staring at Bai Jiu Mountain. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. When they were about to move out, a few silhouettes suddenly flew towards them. Righteous Jiu Masters. Both Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing were taken aback. A total of 4 Jiu Masters were approaching them. When they were 100 steps away, they landed on the ground and moved towards Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. The leader was an old Jiu master, giving off a rank 3 aura while the remaining 3 were all rank 2. Their uniform were the same and their movements were in synergy, showing the signs of an elite group. How can we encounter righteous Jiu masters in this desolate mountain range? Jiu masters and wild beasts are completely different, even though I am rank 3 peak stage, with the chainsaw golden centipede's razors dulled and Fang Yuan as a burden, I might not be their match. We're in trouble now. The 4 Jiu masters got closer amidst Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's bitter sighs. Dusk. The last few rays of the sun were like blood, and crows screeched as they flew back to their nests. Tai Tian walked in the center of the group with a cold expression. There were 8 people in their group when they had set out of Qingmao Mountain, each were an expert of the clan. But now only 3 of his group remained. Tao Tian's heart bled when he thought of the sacrifices. The losses were too severe. This was way out of his expectations. The losses were not because their cultivations were insufficient, but because their luck was too bad. After finding out Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's traces, they started to move along Huanglong River. But Huanglong River flowed too rapidly, leaving behind barely any traces. Even if they used GU worms and had investigative experts, they still deviated from the path. With no choice, they had to move against the current, spending a lot of time before discovering Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's raft. However, troubles came soon after. They encountered a large number of six-legged crocodiles and were attacked. To be honest, they were pretty unlucky. This beach was the breeding ground of the six-legged crocodiles, and after it was destroyed, the six-legged crocodiles that dominated the area were wiped out. Beast groups were also split up into different forces. After the original owner died, this place became free for all, and many surrounding groups of six-legged crocodiles competed for it. Just when they were about to take control of this area, Tai Clan's group arrived on the shore. What thing dares to invade our territory? This land belongs to us six-legged crocodiles. Snatching territory from us, you're asking for it. The territorial concept of wild beasts was not to be trifled with. Thus, a huge battle broke out, and under the united attacks of 2 groups of 1,000 beast groups and 3 groups of 100 beast groups, the Tai Clan group lost 2 members and were forced to escape. Fang Yuan's methods of removing traces were very experienced. Thus, their investigations did not make much progress. With the help of GU worms, they eventually found out the direction Fang Yuan was headed to. But then, a colorful nightmare descended. The Zhen Yuan divine pheasant descended from the sky, staring at them and thinking of them as food. Even now, the entire escape process was deeply buried in Tao Tian's heart. The image of the Zhen Yuan divine pheasant became his nightmare, waking him up from his sleep every night. Zhen Yuan divine pheasant took away 3 of his companions' lives. Among them were their most professional investigative GU master, and even a rank 3 defensive GU master. Truly insane losses. Right now, the GU master in charge of investigation was a half-baked one. Even with such a loss, Tao Tian did not think of giving up. He was the 4th young master of Tai Clan, with a great aptitude and carried the hopes and dreams of the clan since young. He cultivated intensely, inheriting the iron will personality of the Tai clansman. Reinforcing Tai Shuileng and his daughter was his first mission out of the village. But he only managed to save Tai Ruonan, and the divine investigator was sacrificed. This was a great contrast to his original intention. However, if he caught the demonic bastard that got the Blood Sea inheritance and take revenge for Tai Shuileng, it would be a great success. Such a merit would turn into his asset when vying for the clan leader position in the future, getting him more support from the clansmen. He was not worried about the strength of the demonic bastards. In the process of chasing them, they had discovered from the traces that the 2 had limited battle strength, or maybe they had suffered some injuries, only having the collective strength of 1 rank 3 GU master. Even though I lost many companions, I am a rank 3 GU master, and so is Tai Daoku. With 2 other rank 2 GU masters to assist, our strength dominates those 2. Once we capture the demonic bastards, the loss of manpower will turn into proof of my iron will, and never give up traits. Tao Tian's eyes shone with determination. 4th young master, we have found some traces ahead. It seems the direction we are heading is not wrong. At this moment, the investigative GU master reported. Oh, quickly bring me there. After the time taken to drink a cup of tea, 2 holes were dug open, revealing corpses of a large number of grass skirt monkey. These grass skirt monkeys have died for less than a week. It seems we are catching up to those 2. Tai Daoku said in joy. Tao Tian breathed in deeply, his mood was suddenly lifted. Finally, we're nearing the end. He clenched his fists, walking forward excitedly. He stared at the beautiful sky, the night lights shone on his young face, reflecting brightly in his eyes. All his patience and efforts were not in vain, he was finally getting the results. Although the sun is setting, I can see hopes in the future from it, he sighed in his heart, suddenly having the mood to ascend this slope, and enjoy this beautiful moment. The few GU masters near him, gazed at him with admiration. 4th young master is indeed 4th young master. On this journey, we had thought of giving up, but 4th young master persevered alone, and now he is about to get the fruits of his labor. In 4th young master, I can see the clan's hopes, and a bright future ahead. I swear I will only follow 4th young master in this life. They stared in daze at Tao Tian ascending the slope. They could almost see the scene where one day, Tao Tian ascends to the position of the clan leader. But at the next moment, an intense explosion occurred. Boom. Chapter 215. Chapter 215. Fang Yuan sheds tears. Bai Moxing was already 68 years old. He should have retired already at this age. However, Bai clan was in a rough situation these few years, and as an important clan elder and the uncle of the clan leader, he, who had always been working hard and doing his best, couldn't abandon the clan. Now, during this crucial moment of his clan's fate, he undertook the orders to leave the mountain, but during the journey, he accidentally sensed the aura of 2 GU masters. Were they demonic GU masters? This trip was very important to Bai clan and there could be no mistakes. Thus, he immediately led his group and approached the source of the aura. 2 youngsters. He was shocked when he saw Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. His gaze paused on Bai Ningbing first. Bai Ningbing looked frosty and her blue eyes gave off cold light as she stared fearlessly at Bai Moxing, revealing her rank 3 aura. So young and already a rank 3, a genius. Not only Bai Moxing, the other 3 in his group also had such thoughts after seeing Bai Ningbing. At once, 4 pairs of eyes were fixated on Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing had transformed into a girl. Her beautiful features gave off a cool aura, causing her to appear like a snow fairy. Her pearl-like brilliance that couldn't be concealed by her tattered clothes, portrayed her firm personality, causing others to love yet pity her. Compared to her, Fang Yuan's presence was much dimmer. He had an ordinary look, with cultivation of merely rank 1, many gazes swept through him and went back to Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan like this, the less attention he receives, the better. Bai Moxing, however, was different, his gaze quickly turned towards Fang Yuan. Bai Ningbing was protecting Fang Yuan and her stance showed that she would not give up without a fight. And Fang Yuan had a calm look, even though he was hiding behind her. To be closely protected by this young genius girl, this young man seems to be the leader of the 2, who is he? Bai Moxing was after all very experienced, his discerning skills were very accurate. He had thought they were 2 demonic GU masters, but now his heart wavered. Seeing Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan's appearance, as well as their righteous GU masters' clothing, they seemed more like young masters in distress. If they are demonic GU masters, just kill them. But if they are young masters from other clans, we have to watch out. If we cause the forces behind them to take revenge on our Bai clan, I, Bai Moxing, will become the clan's sinner. But thankfully our side is stronger than them, thus the situation is under control. Bai Moxing was still thinking, when Fang Yuan suddenly took a step forward. He cupped his fists. I am Gu Fang Zhang, young master of Qingmao Mountain's Gu clan, my respects to senior. Qingmao Mountain, Gu clan young master. The people were bewildered. Bai Ningbing was also shocked, but she lowered her head so as to cover her gaze from giving them off. She knew that Fang Yuan was starting to cook up a story again. The enemy was stronger than them, thus they had to rely on wits to get out of their predicament. She clearly understood the situation, the rapport they had built up these few days caused her to move one small step back towards Fang Yuan's side. She continued staring at them angrily, like a close bodyguard who was not afraid of dying. Young lad, you are lying. Qingmao Mountain has long been destroyed, you think I don't know that? Bai Moxing shouted with a cold expression. Fang Yuan smiled bitterly, waving his hands. Exactly because Qingmao Mountain is destroyed, I ended up here. Could I be so presumptuous as to ask for senior's name? Bai Moxing hesitated, but a young man beside him quickly spoke. Then listen closely, we are the elites of Bai clan and this is our Bai clan's #1 elder, also my uncle, Lord Bai Moxing. Bai Moxing really wanted to strangle this nephew to death. This secret operation by Bai clan this time, was on a large scale, but their true intentions were unknown to those who were not higher ups. Thus, these people were completely in the dark. On the surface they were out hunting to temper the young master's bravery. But their true motive was to find the spirit spring in Bai Gu Mountain, and start their wild beasts extermination operation. But there's no way they can guess it. Bai Moxing calmed down as he looked at Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing. As expected, it was Bai clan. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. He had already guessed the situation from these 4 Gu masters' appearance. Bai clan's spirit spring was drying out. They needed to find a new one and relocate their clan. The act of relocating a clan was very important, and many preparatory work went into it, and secrecy was also one of them. Otherwise, once the enemy forces found out, they could disrupt their plans and cause the entire Bai clan to fall into danger of getting wiped out. What Fang Yuan had not expected was the Bai clan leader planning so far ahead, starting the preparations 10 years earlier, sending these clansmen to Bai Gu Mountain occasionally to carry out their scouting. There were indeed reasons beyond luck in Bai Clan's eventual prosperity. The appearance of Bai Clan GU masters was a surprise to Fang Yuan, and this would have a great impact on his following actions. On the surface, however, Fang Yuan smiled and cupped his fists. "Oh, so you are from Bai Clan, a fellow clan from righteous faction, nice to meet all of you." He then turned to Bai Ningbing and said, "Ningbing, stay down, we are safe. Bai Clan does not have demonic GU masters." Bai Ningbing felt goosebumps all over her body when she heard Fang Yuan speak in such a gentle manner. She held in her disgust, and withdrew her battle intent, taking another step back while still remaining silent. This act caused the 4 opposing GU masters to sigh in relief. After all, she was a rank 3 GU master. "So her name is Ningbing." Bai Mozing's nephew repeated the name in his heart, his expression slightly dazed. Bai Moxing narrowed his eyes and probed. "It sounds like Junior GUU has met some demonic GU masters along the way." "Yes, my heart still palpitates when I think about it." Fang Yuan patted his chest with fear in his eyes, but luckily, the clan leader and a few clan elders came in time, and killed that rank 3 GU master. Clan leader and elders, Bai Mozing's heart jumped as he quickly followed up. "Don't tell me your clan leader and elders are nearby." Fang Yuan shook his head, sighing, "We got lost from the main team." Bai Mozing's heart eased. But Fang Yuan's next sentence caused him to be alert again. "But I believe that before long, we will regroup again. Because our destination this time is Bai Jiu Mountain." Bai Moxing was nervous. "Bai Jiu Mountain? Why are you all coming to Bai Jiu Mountain?" Fang Yuan hesitated and didn't speak up. Bai Moxing snorted while a bad feeling emerged in his heart. Now that Qingmao Mountain was destroyed, what would the remains of the Jiu clan do? Obviously finding a new location and rebuild their home. Don't tell me they chose Bai Jiu Mountain too. Damn it. In an instant, Bai Mozing's heart surged with killing intent. If his guess was correct, then Qingmao Mountain's main team was his Bai clan's enemy. But he soon contained his killing intent. He was old and was no longer as impulsive as back when he was young. When an elder handled matters, stability was their main priority. He calmed down and thought about it. Even if he killed these 2 immediately, it might not salvage the situation. Killing these 2 would not stop the remaining Qingmao Mountain inhabitants from coming, it would instead worsen the situation, creating foes even before they met. These enemies had no foundation here but were powerful. Didn't you hear what the GUU young master said? The main team had the clan leader and several elders. The most troublesome part was these people wouldn't hesitate to fight to death if the situation became desperate. Furthermore, even if he attacked now, that girl called Ningbing was a true rank 3 GU master. His side would still have casualties, although they were stronger. Finally, such an important matter should not be decided by him. The clan leader was not far away, why not ask her for instructions? Bai Moxing decided to stabilize the situation with Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing first as he thought of this. He started smiling and said enthusiastically, "This is really a coincidence, Junior, our Bai clan's main team is just nearby. We are holding an annual hunting event. As half the landlord, we invite you to come and be a guest. Please allow us to host you." Fang Yuan hesitated purposely. "Come, our Bai clan's grilled lamb leg is top tier." Bai Mozing's nephew also began to persuade, but his gaze was fixed on Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan touched his tummy, showing a conflicted expression, a bit of hesitation but also yearning. Bai Mozing's eyes shone and laughed loudly. "Junior, don't hesitate, anymore, and you are not giving me face." Only then did Fang Yuan bow. "Then I shall impose upon your clan." A banquet was held inside a spacious tent. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing took a seat next to each other. A few clan elders sat opposite each other, and in the head seat was the Bai clan leader. The tent's roof was opened, allowing them to see the blue sky. And in the center was a lamb being grilled, its fragrance extending throughout the entire tent. "Come, lamb leg is the most tender. Guests from afar, please have a taste," Bai clan leader said with enthusiasm. She was a middle-aged woman, and under her indication, the servants grilling the lamb, cut the lamb leg and offered it to Fang Yuan. Soon after, they cut off the other leg and placed it in front of Bai Ningbing in a silver plate. The lamb leg was still sizzling hot. Fang Yuan took a bite. He could taste the crispy fragrant skin and the tender juicy meat. If it had been marinated with some honey or some cumin powder, it would have been even tastier. Indeed, a delicacy, no less than the grass-skirt monkey's brains. Even Bai Ningbing was full of praises. "Our guest's happiness is our utmost pleasure." Ha ha ha, Bai Moxing laughed. Fang Yuan ate and ate, when suddenly, his tears started flowing out. Everyone was shocked. Bai clan leader asked, Junior Fang Zheng, why are you crying? The taste is truly divine, but thinking of the last few days where I and Ningbing could barely survive, going through one danger after another, and thinking of our clansmen suffering in the wild without food to eat, I can't help but feel heartache. Please forgive me, Bai clan leader. Fang Yuan stood up and cupped his fist. The few clan elders glanced at each other inside. Bai clan leader asked, my clan feels deep sympathy towards Guu clan's disaster. Junior, can you tell me what in the world happened at Qingmao Mountain? Chapter 216. Chapter 216. Green Copper Relic Gu. The once lively Qingmao Mountain had turned into a world of ice and snow. Such a change had long attracted the attention and investigations of nearby forces. In these few months, news of Qingmao Mountain being destroyed had gradually spread far. I don't dare to recall, every time I think of it, it feels so painful. Fang Yuan sat down, his face full of grief. Servants, bring the wine. Seeing Fang Yuan unwilling to speak, Bai clan leader did not pursue the matter, but ordered her servants to bring 2 vats of wine. Bai Ningbing was indifferent, she never drank wine, only water. Fang Yuan opened the seal immediately, gulping and drinking a mouthful as his tears fell once again. Bai clan leader was stunned. Junior, why are you crying again? Your clan's wine is intoxicating, but it makes me recall our green bamboo wine and of those days when I drank on Qingmao Mountain. Fang Yuan wiped his tears as he said. The clan elders' sighs became even louder, and many started consoling Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan's encounter caused them to feel a sense of resonance. After all, Bai clan's spirit spring was starting to dry out, and if they couldn't find a new spirit spring, Guu clan's sorry state would be their Bai clan's future. Bai clan leader consoled him once more, only then did Fang Yuan stop crying. Who would not feel pain when their home is destroyed? I can understand Junior's feelings. But as long as people remain, there is hope. Junior, don't grieve, I believe that in a few days, you will be reunited with your clansmen. Bai Moxing probed. Fang Yuan acted as if he was unaware, wiping his tears and answering casually, yeah, it should be in a few days. Hearing this reply, Bai Moxing and Bai clan leader glanced at each other. After the banquet, Bai clan leader called Bai Moxing and entered a secret discussion. Clan leader, the situation is bad. Guu village was destroyed, why did these remaining people come to Bai Guu Mountain? It is likely that they want to snatch this territory, should we strike first instead? Bai Moxing was worried. He. Bai clan's female leader laughed lightly instead. Bai Moxing was bewildered, why is clan leader laughing? The female clan leader squinted and explained. Don't be rash, Elder Moxing, this situation has boon and bane. As long as we operate this well, we can save much effort. Bai Moxing started to ponder the clan leader's words deeply. That's right, Bai clan's spirit spring was running dry after so many years of usage. They needed to find a new spirit spring as soon as possible, and this time they were searching for a suitable spring on Bai Guu Mountain under the cover of hunting. Bai clan's main group had just arrived and could not find anything yet. But if Guu clan's remnants were coming to Bai Guu Mountain, they had to know some intel. It could even be deduced that Guu clan definitely held information on that spirit spring. Bai clan leader saw Bai Moxing's expression change and continued, looks like you got it. Actually, any large mountain is a gathering of primeval essence, and thus a spirit spring will be there. But to find the spirit spring's specific location, it is not easy and requires a lot of manpower and resources. There are Fang, Liao and Fan clan around our Bai clan, they are all strong clans with equal power. If the matter about our Bai clan's spirit spring running dry gets out, they will take advantage of the situation and attack our weakness, thus we decided earlier that we have to secretly find the spirit spring's location under the guise of a hunting competition. But by doing this, we are greatly restricted and have to expend even greater manpower and resources in searching for the spirit spring. Bai clan leader was full of worries, but could not express her helplessness. Bai Moxing continued. Thus, clan leader wants to obtain information about the spirit spring from Guu clan. That's right, Bai clan leader nodded, her eyes shining brightly. Guu clan's leader and elders won't be easy to deal with, but with those 2 youngsters in our control. This is a godsend opportunity. Bai Moxing frowned. But, I see that those 2 are not stupid. That lass is obviously one of those iron-willed stubborn type, while that young lad, although weak, was unfazed in dangerous situations, being calm at all encounters. The first time we met, even when he was surrounded by us, he did not show a hint of panic. It will not be easy if we want them to divulge information. Bai clan leader chuckled. If he did not have such composure, how would he be a clan's young master? These two young masters are very outstanding, but if they weren't, I would be doubting their identities. Bai Moshing continued. Thus, you have to think twice, clan leader. If we interrogate them forcefully, they might not submit to us. With the traces they left behind, Gu clan will be here soon. These are the type of desperate people with nothing to lose, except their lives. Bai clan leader waved her hand. That is not a worry, clan elder, I have a plan. Oh, this old one shall listen. Bai clan leader said it softly while Bai Mo Xing's old eyes kept on getting brighter. After Bai clan leader finished, Bai Mo Xing could not help but praise. This is a good plan. I saw that Gu Fang Zheng is very attached to his clan, he even cried twice for his clan in the banquet. He is after all a youngster, clan leader, this plan that you came up with is like placing honey in front of a young bear or placing a carrot before a young rabbit. There will be no issues getting him hooked. Fang Yuan opened a corner of the tent's cover. It was nighttime already, but Bai clan's temporary camp was well lit. The tents were placed perfectly in order, with iron racks and torches at every certain distance, and patrolling Gu master groups all night round. Young Master Fang Zheng, what is the matter? Fang Yuan had just opened the cover, and the two guards at the door immediately walked over. Fang Yuan burped out some wine. I drank a lot of wine at the banquet, is there anywhere I can relieve myself? Young master, right this way. You are our esteemed guest, the clan leader has arranged a special spot for you, no further than 30 steps away. One of the guards immediately said. Give me a direction, I do not like anyone near me when I pee. Fang Yuan rejected. I do not dare to disobey young master, the wooden lavatory is right there. The guard pointed towards it, bowed and left. Fang Yuan got to the wooden lavatory, and after peeing, he pretended to be drowsy and walked in an opposite direction. He was not even 20 steps out when a few patrolling Gu masters came over. Esteemed guest, that is the wrong direction, your tent is over there. Is that so? I remembered it was there. Fang Yuan burped. Esteemed guest, this way please. Bai clan Gu masters smiled hypocritically, with a forceful tone. Fang Yuan was brought back to the tent again. In the tent, the lights were turned on. There were 2 beds on eastern and western side in the tent. Bai Ningbing was sitting on her bed and cultivating, using primeval essence to nurture her aperture. Hearing Fang Yuan enter, she opened her eyes, inquiring with her gaze. Fang Yuan glanced at her, before falling down on the bed. Ningbing, sleep early. You were exhausted these few days. Don't worry, we will join up with our clansmen in few days. His words slurred at the end, and eventually he closed his eyes, snoring, evidently falling asleep. Bai Ningbing's pupils shrunk. She knew Fang Yuan was acting, purposely saying that as a precaution against any surveillance-type Gu worms. He had gone out earlier to pee, but returned so early which meant the area was tightly secured and it was impossible for them to escape quietly in dark. She couldn't help but be worried. Although she was at rank 3 peak stage, her Gu worms were not optimal, causing her battle strength to be insufficient. While in this camp, Bai clan leader was at rank 4, and there are 5 to 6 clan elders, and a lot of rank 2 Gu masters. To be meat on somebody's chopping board. That was the current situation. Although Bai clan was a righteous faction, people die for fortune and birds die for food, once the benefits exceeded the risk, they would definitely commit murder in secret. Bai Ningbing knew the Gu worms in Fang Yuan's possession were all extremely rare. Heavenly Essence Treasure Lotus, Blood Skull Gu, once exposed, would definitely attract the greed of Bai clan Gu masters. The reason they did not act yet was because Fang Yuan used the threat of the non-existent Gu clansmen to temporarily lie to them. A few days later, when they do not see Gu clansmen arrive, they would be suspicious. By then, Fang Yuan and her would be at a tight spot. How do I get out of this predicament? Bai Ningbing frowned, staring at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan had already turned around, his back facing her, and he seemed to have really slept from the sound of his relaxed breathing. You sure take it easy. Bai Ningbing snorted, feeling anxious and helpless in her heart. The next day, it was a bright sunny day. There were 3 loud drum beats which signified the Bai clan leader summoning the clansmen. Our Bai clan annual hunting competition starts from today and will continue for the next 7 days, it is time for you to display your strength. According to our rules, those who get a decent ranking will be heavily rewarded. Next, feel free to display all your bravery and strength. Bai clan leader waved her hand, and the village gates opened. The Gu masters were eager to start the competition, rushing out impatiently. Not long later, they entered the forest from their respective positions, vanishing into the wilderness. The crowded camp had become more spacious and empty. Junior Fang Zheng, did you sleep well last night? Bai clan leader turned around, asking Fang Yuan with a smile. Fang Yuan cupped his fist. Thank you clan leader for the hospitality. Last night I fell asleep immediately after lying down, and it was morning already when I woke up. Ha ha ha, Bai clan leader smiled, patting Fang Yuan's shoulders, giving off a kind and affectionate feeling. Does Junior want to enter our clan's hunting competition? Let us see the valor of a Guu clansman. Fang Yuan showed a difficult expression, rejecting, I am ashamed. Junior was heavily injured not too long ago, and my cultivation fell from rank 3. Thankfully I was saved by the clan, but now I only have rank 1 middle stage cultivation. Even without Fang Yuan mentioning it, his rank 1 aura was clear to the eyes. No worries Junior, as our clan's esteemed guest, you will definitely be well treated. How about this, as long as Junior can hunt an adult black bear, this green copper relic Gu will be your reward. Bai clan leader clapped her hand, and a Gu master beside her opened his palm, as a finger-sized round ball-shaped Gu emerged. Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart, but showed an earnest expression, then this Junior shall take up the invitation. Chapter 217. Chapter 217, Giving Others a Hold on Oneself. Howl. In the forest, a plump black bear as large as 2 meters was standing on its 2 legs. It growled towards Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, but the two were indifferent, causing the black bear to become furious. It landed on all fours and pounced towards the 2 youngsters. Do not be fooled by the bear's clumsy looks, its running speed was, in fact, very fast, twice the speed of ordinary humans. Seeing the black bear nearing 50 steps from him, Fang Yuan's lips curled up into a smile as if he had achieved his target. Bam! With a loud bang, soil was sent flying. The black bear cried out pitifully, its advancement came to a stop as if it had suffered a blow to the head. Overcome by anger due to suffering such an absurd attack, it quickly changed to another direction and rushed towards Fang Yuan once again. But after only stepping out for 10 steps, the ground exploded again. Howl! The black bear's chest was blown to a bloody mess, its eyes turned red as its rage reached a tipping point, rushing forward once again. A wild beast after all, lacking in intelligence. Fang Yuan sighed as he retreated. The black bear chased relentlessly, but there would be an explosion every few steps it took. After rushing for another few dozen steps, the black bear's body was full of injuries with none of its fur intact. It was limping as its forelimbs were crippled, there was no longer the fearsomeness of before. Its anger had subsided, and the instinct for survival kicked in. Even though Fang Yuan was standing no further than 20 steps away, it chose to retreat. But Fang Yuan had already anticipated its retreating path, and dug a deep hole on the path, burying at least 5 charred thunder potato Gu in there. Boom! With a loud explosion, the battle ended. At the same time, in the tent, wisps of smoke hovered in the air. In the smoke, images flashed, as they portrayed the process of Fang Yuan's battle in real time. Elder Mo Xing, what do you think? Bai clan leader spoke after the battle ended. Only she and Bai Mo Xing were inside the tent. If I am not wrong, this Guu clan young master is using the charred thunder potato Gu. This Gu is an expendable type, absorbing energy from the ground to grow, and explodes after impacted with vibrations. Among rank 2 Gu worms, it has strong attacking power, but this Gu is severely weakened on Bai Gu Mountain. Bai Gu Mountain has no soil, and even the mountain rocks are made of bones, the charred thunder potato Gu cannot be planted. Bai Mo Xing continued evaluating. Bai clan leader shook her head. You analyzed well, but that's not the point. Did you not notice, Fang Zheng did everything by himself, from burying the charred thunder potato Gu to the end of the battle. He has a rank 3 bodyguard but chose to use the rank 2 charred thunder potato Gu himself through a tedious process. Every time he buries a seed, he has to use primeval stones to recover his primeval essence, but he insists on doing it himself. What does that say? Bai Mo Xing's eyes shone. I understand, this Fang Zheng is an upright person, not one of those who like to scheme and skive. He agreed to enter the hunting competition, thus no matter how hard it is, he will not use outside forces to cheat. Scheming and skiving characters have weak will, while upright characters are indomitable. If we want to find out the location of the spirit spring from these two people, the best way is to do so is indirectly, by using our wits. Hee hee, my confidence in last night's plans have increased again. Bai clan leader smiled. Luckily I was able to accomplish my goals. After half an incense was burned through, Fang Yuan placed a torn bear skin in front of the Bai clan leader. Hee, in such a short time, Junior managed to kill an adult black bear, as expected of Guu clan's young master. Bai clan leader's face showed a trace of shock, which immediately turned into a smile. Junior might as well go back to rest, the green copper relic GU will be sent over shortly. Thank you clan leader, this junior will take his leave. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing moved out of the central tent and back to their tent. Soon after, a GU master brought over the green copper relic GU. Fang Yuan took it, and immediately used it on the spot, raising his cultivation from middle to upper stage. GU master's small realms were easy to break through and was just a matter of efforts and time. Big realms, however, needed aptitude to break through. Relic GU, Stone Aperture GU along with many other GU worms could reduce the time needed by GU master to raise their cultivation. As for rank 1 upper stage, it is still rank 1. This small growth could not change or affect the situation at all. At night, Bai clan leader organized a banquet again, inviting Fang and Bai. Bai clan's tradition was to hold banquets every day during the hunting competition. Large bonfire banquets were held in the open areas. As for the small banquet in the central tent, only the first few ranked participants would be invited. But because Fang and Bai had different identities, they still remained on the guest seats. Come, let me introduce to Junior our clan's rising star. You youngsters should interact with each other. During the banquet, Bai Moxing started the conversation. There were 4 youngsters in the tent, 2 males and 2 females, all were rank 3 GU masters. One of the guys was Bai Moxing's nephew, Bai Mo Ting. He had a slim body and was ranked 3rd in today's hunting. Among the 2 girls, one was called Bai Sao Shuai who looked very careless but was ranked 4th. The other was called Bai Lian. She had white skin and thick eyebrows which gave her a fresh aura. She was the most beautiful girl in Bai clan. The 2 girls sat opposite each other, forming a stark contrast. Bai Zonlai greets the 2 esteemed guests. A young male GU master took the initiative and stole the words out of Bai Moxing's mouth. He was muscular and his manners contained arrogance along with strong battle intent. Looking at Fang and Bai, he first paused at Fang Yuan before showing a smile of disdain. Next his gaze was locked onto Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing was like a snow fairy with her silver hair and blue eyes, surpassing Bai Lian in terms of beauty. More importantly, she was at rank 3 peak stage, attracting Bai Zonlai's attention. He snorted. It seems that your GUU clan has strong women and weak men. Bai Ningbing was like an ice block, showing no reaction. Fang Yuan's expression turned cold and slightly ugly. Bai clan leader interrupted. This is the #1 youth expert in our clan, Junior, don't blame him for his inconsiderate words. Of course not. Fang Yuan moved his lips, facing Bai clan leader. Brother Zonlai is a dragon among men, I am deeply amazed. His tone was complex, and his expression was perfectly displayed. Some tolerance due to being under others' roof, the helplessness of his own weak cultivation and some indignant pride of a youngster. Even Bai Ningbing was taken by surprise. Bai Zonlai snorted, while Fang Yuan laughed coldly in his heart. He knew the Bai clan situation, but Bai clan did not know his true trump cards. The situation might seem dire for him, but he had a strong grasp on the advantage he had, information. How to make good use of this advantage, that is the key to getting out of our predicament. Green copper relic GU is a good sign, showing that Bai clan is worried about the non-existent GUU clan remnants. They do not want to do it by force, but instead trick and manipulate us. Is this Bai Zonlai the next chess piece? Now that I think about it, his tone earlier was too forceful. If he really is the Bai clan's next move, there will be some problems. I might as well give my handle to them, and expose my weakness. If he allowed the Bai clan to set up traps this casually, Fang Yuan would no doubt fall into a more passive situation. Instead, he might as well give others a hold on himself, and expose some fake weaknesses to gain some initiative. Thinking so, Fang Yuan's gaze swept through the tent, a ploy brewing in his scheming mind. He looked at Bai Lian, opposite him. After staring for a while, Bai Lian seemed to have noticed his gaze, but Fang Yuan turned his head over, seemingly observing something else. As the banquet continued, Fang Yuan took peeks at Bai Lian from time to time, but avoided eye contact with her. When the banquet was almost over, Fang Yuan peeked more often. This situation was easily noticed by the Bai clan leader, and some clan elders. The clan elders showed some amusement in their eyes. It was a common thing for youths to get infatuated. Bai Lian was the beauty of Bai clan, it was natural for her to attract the attention of GUU clan young master. After the banquet was over, Bai Moxing excitedly went to see the clan leader. Clan leader, did you see what happened during the banquet? Bai clan leader smiled. Let me plan a bit more. The night passed by silently. During the second day of the hunting competition, Bai clan leader called Fang Yuan again, telling him to hunt a earthhorn rhino. Fang Yuan reenacted the same method, using the charred thunder potato Gu and blasting the earthhorn rhino, bringing back its horn. Bai clan leader praised him and rewarded him with a clearing heat Gu. Clearing heat Gu was like an armored worm fossil, with a half-transparent jade rock texture. He felt a cool air passing on to him when he held it in his hand. This Gu was a rank 2 healing Gu, used to cure poison. Fang Yuan had finally fixed his greatest weakness after getting this Gu. During the campfire banquet that night. This is my son and daughter. Bai Sheng, Bai Hua, stand up and toast this brother. Bai clan leader said. A pair of twins stood up, raising their cups like an adult, saying together, Bai Sheng Bai Hua toasts Gu young master. They bowed slightly with a solemn expression, showing their good upbringing. There was no hint of any childishness. Fang Yuan was slightly stunned and sized up this pair of siblings attentively. According to his previous life, these two kids would be the famous righteous twin stars. Their fame would last a long period of time. Both cultivated to rank 5 and expanded the Bai clan village to an unprecedented height. At the same time, they were the inheritors of the Bai Gu mountain inheritance, and Bai Sheng even became the Bai clan leader eventually. In a clan, the clan leader position was usually inherited by the clan leader's own children. But for Gu village, where the clan leader does not have children, they would choose an outstanding youngster from their pure bloodline descendants. People have a growing process. Bai Sheng and Bai Hua might be grand heroes in the future, but now they were still too young, not even students yet. Fang Yuan retracted his gaze and concentrated on Bai Lian again. The banquet continued. During the period, Fang Yuan continued to peek on Bai Lian, as Bai Zonlai continued to find problems, his tone haughtier than before. Bai Mo Xing's nephew Bai Mo Ting was instead peeking at Bai Ningbing. Chapter 218. Chapter 218. Performing a great show. On the third day, Bai clan leader called for Fang Yuan again and gifted him many primeval stones in the name of hunting. During the banquet, apart from stealing glances at Bai Lian, Fang Yuan took the initiative to toast to Bai clan leader with a sincere and grateful expression. Bai clan leader didn't speak but was inwardly very satisfied. This night, Bai Lian visited Fang Yuan on her own accord. Her friend had been poisoned and clearing heat Gu would be very effective on it. However, clearing heat Gu was rare, thus she came to Fang Yuan to borrow it. Can't endure it anymore, huh? Fang Yuan sneered inwardly while lending the clearing heat Gu without any objection. Bai Lian seemed to be very grateful for this. Fang Yuan then took the initiative to enthusiastically chat with her. The two started becoming closer and their relation rapidly improved. The fifth day, at the banquet, Bai clan leader suddenly asked, Junior, is your Gu clan thinking of settling down in Bai Gu mountain? Fang Yuan immediately stood up. He tried to appear composed, but couldn't conceal the panic in his eyes. Bai Gu mountain lies close to Bai village, we could say it your esteemed clan's territory. How could we dare to encroach upon it? Bai clan leader smiled inwardly. She became more certain that the Gu clan's objective was Bai Gu mountain. However, she hypocritically said, Junior might not be fully aware of the complicated situation here. The pressure on our Bai clan is very big. It would be great if Gu clan could stay here at Bai Gu mountain as our clan's ally. Fang Yuan promptly denied. Bai Mo Xing also persuaded. Fang Yuan seemed to be moved but he did not yield. After the banquet, Bai Lian also came over to indirectly talk about it. Fang Yuan's expression became complicated, but he still didn't admit it. HMPH, this kid, his mouth is very tight. After the banquet, in the tent, Bai Mo Xing gritted his teeth and sighed. This is the demeanor of the young master of a clan, I am not surprised. We just have to raise the heat. Bai clan leader's gaze was pensive. The next day, dawn. Fang Yuan was still sleeping, when he was woken up by quarreling noises from outside the tent. He walked outside the tent to take a look, only to see Bai Zonlai aggressively pulling Bai Lian's hands. Bai Zonlai, I told you many times to stop bothering me. Love can't be forced. Bai Lian swung off Bai Zonlai's hand and said with an icy expression, I still have things to do, take your leave. Today's hunting competition is about to begin, what things do you have to do? Or are you going to look for that gigolo from Gu village? Bai Zonlai furiously roared. Say whatever you want. Young Master Fang Zheng is very kind and even lent the clearing heat Gu when I asked for it. If it was not for his help, could Bai Shengjing recover so quickly? Lian can you not be so simple-minded? Clearing heat Gu, haha, the way I see it he is just thinking to get intimate with you. Don't tell me you didn't sense his glances. Bai Zhonlai worriedly said. Bai Lian glared. Bai Zhonlai, enough is enough. Ah, young Master Fang Zheng. As the two quarreled, they saw Fang Yuan who was standing outside the tent. Fang Yuan looked a little embarrassed and his gaze showed some worry as he said to Bai Lian, so it was Lady Bai Lian. Please come in if you have something to say. You lad. Bai Zhonlai turned furious and seemed about to find trouble for Fang Yuan, but was stopped by Bai Lian halfway through. Bai Zhonlai, what do you think you are doing? Are you crazy? This is our clan's esteemed guest. What esteemed guest? He is no more than a stray dog. Bai Zhonlai spat in contempt as he pointed at Fang Yuan. Kid, if you have guts then let's have a real contest. The loser will have to stop bothering Lian. HMPH, I am only a rank 1 whereas you are a rank 3 and you have the nerve to say this. Could it be the Grand Bai clan has no fairness? Fang Yuan's expression turned ugly. In this world, there has never been fairness, there are only strong and weak. You are a coward if you don't dare to compete. So it turns out the GUU clan produces cowards, ha ha ha. Bai Zhonlai threw his head back and laughed, the sound attracting many people. What's going on? Bai Moxing hurried over at this moment. Bai Lian explained everything to him. Bai Moxing immediately criticized Bai Zhonlai. Stop fooling around, you actually dared to be rude to the esteemed guest. Bai Zhonlai raised his head. He didn't dare to take up my challenge, he is not a warrior. Since he is not a warrior, why should I be courteous to him? You. Bai Moxing stared in fury. Bai Lian said. Anyone who accepts such challenge would be an idiot. Young Master Fang Zheng's cultivation has fallen because of injuries. If he was at his peak state, you might not be his opponent. A young lady was saying such things towards Fang Yuan. If Fang Zheng was really here, his heart would have been completely filled with appreciation. Fang Yuan, however, sneered, such a good performance. I will compete with you in place of young Master Fang Zheng. Bai Lian continued. Bai Zhonlai gasped with rage. Why are you sticking out for him? Besides, on what basis are you representing him? He is only a gigolo, a spineless coward, I alone can win 10 of him. I won't compete with you. Kid, if you have guts then stand up. Not even saying anything, are you still a man? If you want to compete, then let's compete, who is afraid of whom? Fang Yuan seemed to have been spurred on by the remarks, as he straightened his neck and said in an impulsive manner. Lord Elder, did you hear it? He agreed. Bai Zhonlai immediately shouted out with glee all over his face. Bai Moxing furrowed his brows. One should always be brave enough to receive challenges. Junior Fang Zheng, we all see your bravery, but you are our clan's esteemed guest, how will we explain to GUU clan if there are any mishaps? And your cultivations are not at the same level, so the challenge loses its fairness. Lord Elder is correct, Junior was thoughtless, Fang Yuan deliberately hesitated. Seeing Fang Yuan seemingly about to withdraw, Bai Zhonlai and Bai Lian quickly communicated with their gazes. Bai Zhonlai continued to speak, provoking Fang Yuan's anger and spurring him on. Bai Lian bit her lips, before walking in front of Fang Yuan. She opened her watery big eyes and spoke softly, Young Master Fang Zheng, if I may be so bold to ask a favor. Oh, what request? I really wish young master would accept this challenge and help me get rid of Bai Zhonlai's persistence. I really can't endure his harassment. Bai Lian said with eyes filled with tears. A young girl was imploring a boy like this, to drive away a nasty pursuer. Especially if this boy also had good feelings about this young girl. Tell me, which boy could refuse? Thereupon, Fang Yuan immediately patted his chest and agreed. Not to worry Lady Bai Lian, your affairs are my affairs, I will give it my all. Fang Yuan paused before speaking with some hesitation, it is just that my cultivation is weaker than his at the moment. Just in case I lost. Please be at ease young master, I have a plan already. Bai Lian's smile was like the blooming of a daffodil. She turned around and said to Bai Moxing, Lord Elder, young Master Fang Zheng might have agreed to the contest, but if we really were to continue with the duel, we might injure our harmony and it also wouldn't be fair. I have a proposal, the hunting competition is ongoing currently, how about we take this chance to divide them into 5-person group and compete with the hunting accomplishments? Yes, it is a good proposal. Bai Moxing felt his beard and slightly nodded, okay, you will choose your own teams. But to be fair, the cultivation level of your teams must be proportionate. Bai Zhonlai snorted in annoyance. Yes, Bai Lian promptly bowed in happiness. After an hour, the two sides set off. On Fang Yuan's side, there were rank 3 Bai Ningbing, Bai Lian and 2 other female GU masters with a similar age to Bai Lian, both all having rank 2 cultivation. Among them was Bai Shangjing, who was very grateful to Fang Yuan. She was the one who was poisoned and had been cured by Fang Yuan's clearing heat Gu. The group was harmonious, and although Fang Yuan had the lowest cultivation, he was the core of the group. Young master, you don't need to worry, we have already gotten detailed information on the locations of the more precious preys. You only need to follow us. Bai Shangjing was responsible for scouting, and she was quite lively. The group followed her, and sure enough, they were able to kill many unique prey. Fang Yuan didn't have to exert himself, and the whole thing felt like he was going on an excursion rather than hunting. Young Master Fang Zhang, I heard others saying your Gu clan is migrating to Bai Gu Mountain, is that true? Bai Shangjing seemed to have asked casually when they were returning from their rewarding hunt. Those talks are all baseless. Fang Yuan smiled. Young master, you are gentle and refined, an upright gentleman, much better than that Bai Zhan Lai. Sigh, if you could stay at Bai Gu Mountain then we could meet each other more often in future. Bai Shangjing continued. Fang Yuan laughed and secretly glanced at Bai Lian, who was walking alongside him. Bai Lian seemed to be worried. Settling down and establishing the village is not an easy thing. The most important condition is to find a spirit spring. However, the primeval energy around the spirit spring is very dense, so there will definitely be beasts pack or formidable wild Gu worms living near it. To establish the village, the very first exploration group will have to go through intense battles, either killing beast packs or the wild Gu worms. This process will definitely be accompanied by bloodbath and sacrifices. Upon saying so, she looked at Fang Yuan. Actually, there are many bone Gu living in Bai Gu Mountain. These bone Gu have tough physique and are difficult to deal with. There are also no soil in Bai Gu Mountain, the ground is all made of bones and stones. It is not impossible to establish a village and survive on this mountain, but the price to pay is very high. Oh, is it so? Fang Yuan's smile contained a trace of reluctance and his gaze seemed to reveal deep worry. Then, he pretended to act nonchalant, asking, I am quite interested in Bai Gu Mountain. Bai Lian, your clan could be said to be half the owner, could you tell me what dangers are on this mountain? Bai Lian smiled. Then please listen, young master. She exaggeratedly spoke while secretly activating the anxiety accumulation Gu inside her aperture. This Gu worked as quietly as the spring breeze and would silently influence everyone within 10 steps of it. It aggravated people's thoughts and increased their worries. Fang Yuan's smiling expression gradually faded and the worries in his eyes became more visible. Young Master Fang Zhang doesn't need to worry, we will definitely win against Bai Zhan Lai this time. Bai Shangjing intentionally eased Fang Yuan's worries. Fang Yuan nodded and after replying few sentences, he appeared absent-minded. Following, he kept on asking many questions. They were all about Bai Gu Mountain, especially about certain areas in the back of the mountain. Bai Lian patiently answered all his questions. This scene was playing in real time in the camp. The fish has taken the bait. Bai clan leader showed a smug smile, back of the mountain. She started looking at the map on the table. Chapter 219. Chapter 219. Entering Bai Gu Mountain. After a short period of time, Bai clan leader took her gaze off the map, giving up. Bai Gu Mountain was huge. Even though the range was restricted to the back mountain, it was still a long way to pinpointing the exact location. That Gu lad, he is on guard against our Bai clan and would not ask for the direction directly. It seems that to find out the location of the spirit spring, we will need to buck up. Bai clan leader gritted her teeth, evaluating. Once they obtained the location of the spirit spring, Bai clan would hold a thorough investigation. But if the spirit springs surrounding beast groups isn't a lot, and the price for killing them isn't huge, I will strike directly. After all, we have the initiative to act first. But if the surrounding wild beasts and Gu worms are too many, we will provide support and reinforce Gu clan, making them bear the brunt of the attacks, while we wait for the opportunity to reap the rewards afterwards. If we do this well, we might even absorb the remnants of Gu clan. He. Thinking of the great plan, Bai clan leader laughed out. She had no idea now, that the so-called Gu remnants were just a big fat lie. In fact, Fang Yuan obtained even more valuable information from Bai Lian. The righteous inheritance was at the back mountain of Bai Gu Mountain. Fang Yuan did not fake the information. However, there were many bone beasts at the back mountain, and even more Gu worms dominating the area. It would be tough and full of obstacles to claim the area as a clan territory. He knew from Bai Lian's words that there were some exaggeration. Relying on his 500 years of experience, he filtered the exaggerated parts and obtained one truth: if he and Bai Ningbing worked together to get to the inheritance ground, it would take at least half a year. The situation on Bai Jiu Mountain was not like the woods. There were large numbers of wild beast groups, and many ferocious beasts and dangerous Jiu worms lurked. Many areas needed to be avoided and some places even needed to be steered clear of. Once back at the village, it was like what Bai Shengjing said, their battle results were superior to Bai Zonlai. After a day of circulation, this competition was widely known. The five walked in the campgrounds, receiving much attention. Senior Bai Lian won today. That is just Lord Bai Zonlai being unlucky. You know, hunting relies on luck too. If you do not encounter rare prey, so what if you have strength? Those two, are they the ones from Jiu clan? Who is that girl, so beautiful not any less than Bai Lian's beauty? I heard this Jiu clan young master is interested in Lord Bai Lian, truly a lame toad trying to eat swan meat. According to my observations, this person's nature is flawed. Having one beside him already, yet craving another, no wonder Lord Bai Zonlai was furious. Everyone can tell Lord Bai Zonlai is interested in Senior Bai Lian. After all, I heard they were childhood friends. Sigh, unfortunately the feeling isn't mutual. Many whispers and secret talks were undergoing, as people lowered their heads. Fang Yuan looked like he was gloomy, even though he won, he did not show any joy on his face. Only until at night, at the central tent, as another campfire banquet was held. The twins, Bai Sheng and Bai Hua, toasted to Fang Yuan before being brought away. In the tent, many new faces emerged. Bai Lian and Bai Zonlai's competition caused them to leave the ordinary hunting competition. Thus, the spots they used to hold were freed now, causing many youngsters in the Bai clan to step up. These two males were evidently closer to Bai Zonlai, one stared at Fang Yuan angrily during the banquet while the other was apathetic. Junior, it has been so many days, where are your clansmen? At the banquet, Bai clan leader asked. Fang Yuan showed some worry. According to my calculations, it should be these few days. Sigh, maybe they encountered some trouble, but with their strength, there should be no problems. Bai clan leader nodded, what she was concerned with was Fang Yuan. After spending so much effort, and establishing this stage, at this point where progress was being made, and success was around the corner, she did not want the Jiu remnants to appear and thwart the entire plot. What she did not know was, her worry was unnecessary. In this world, only two Jiu remained, Fang Yuan and Fang Zheng. No worries Junior, I have sent people to scout around, I believe that not long later, you will hear news of your clansmen. After reacting, Bai clan leader consoled Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan quickly thanked her, as Bai Ningbing frowned. The situation was getting more critical, the longer they dragged, the worse it was for them. Now was still fine, using excuses to answer them. After all, in the wild, encountering unexpected troubles is normal. But after they dragged it out, Bai clan would be suspicious, and may even find out the truth behind their lies. But these days, they continued to hunt in the wild, and Bai Ningbing did not dare to do anything. She knew that there were Bai clan Jiu masters invigilating the entire process, hiding at a corner. They lacked a strong movement Jiu, and with the complex forest terrain, it limited their speed. In Bai Ningbing's perspective, the situation was worsening by the day, they seemed to have fallen deep into the quicksand, sinking deeper as time passed, at this rate they would be thoroughly consumed. What exactly are you planning? Bai Ningbing stared at Fang Yuan. She understood Fang Yuan, he was not the type of person to wait and die. But because of her little life experiences, she could not think of a way to break out of the situation. In this environment, she could not discuss openly with Fang Yuan either. The pressure in Bai Ningbing's heart was intensifying. Another day passed. Fang Yuan's group was narrowly beating Bai Zonlai's group in terms of results. At the banquet, Bai clan leader called Bai Mo Xing for another secret discussion. Clan leader tapped on the table with her finger. This cannot go on, although today during the hunting, Bai Lian continued to talk about the dangers of Bai Jiu Mountain, I could feel Fang Zheng wavering but time waits for no one. Once the Jiu group shows up, Fang Zheng would have found his pillar of support, and our efforts would have been in vain. Time is not on our side. Bai clan leader sighed, unable to hide her worry. What she did not know was, Bai Ningbing was more worried than her. Time was even more precious for Bai Ningbing and Fang Yuan. Bai Mo Xing pondered for a while. Clan leader, the way I see it, it is not realistic to expect Fang Zheng to trust us in the short run and give us the location of the spirit spring. I have an idea here, but we still need to continue manipulating and intensifying his pressure. Oh, speak, Bai Mo Xing whispered softly. Bai clan leader nodded slightly. You are right, that Fang Zheng is very anxious, probably worried that his clan would suffer too much losses from fighting for the spirit spring. Doesn't he want information on the area near the spirit spring? He definitely wants it, but is wary of us. Moreover, their cultivation is weak too. Your idea seems good. Subconsciously, the female clan leader felt that this method was inappropriate, but now that they had no better plans they could only try this. Thus, on the third day of the duel, Bai Zhonglai accidentally caught a wild swimming dragon butterfly during hunting, and the entire camp was in a commotion. Bai Lian showed a grim expression. The situation is looking bad. Swimming dragon butterfly GU, rank 3 and very precious. Bai Zhonglai's score is way ahead of us. We can only take a risky move to have a chance to win. I am very clear of the forest's terrain. We can only go into Bai Gu mountain to hunt, and kill bone beasts or capture wild bone Gu. Bai Ningbing heard this, and her heart jumped. Bai Gu mountain, isn't that the best way to break out of their predicament? Haha, to think that an opportunity would arrive like this. Although Bai Gu mountain was dangerous, it was the best way to escape Bai clan. Fang Yuan shook his head. This is too dangerous, Lady Bai Lian, we have limited strength, forget it. Bai Ningbing stared with wide-opened eyes, wanting to strangle Fang Yuan so badly. Bai Lian laughed instead. No worries young master. I have a plan. I have a good relationship with Bai Sheng and Bai Hua, we can coax them into joining the hunt tomorrow. They have no cultivation, thus they are not considered reinforcements for us. But they have Gu masters hiding around protecting them from danger. If we enter Bai Gu mountain, and encounter danger, how can they not help? We will not take the wild beasts they kill, but only hunt our own. The beast groups are bound to have the old, sickly and weak, the wild beasts on Bai Gu mountain are way more valuable. Fang Yuan was shocked. To think that Bai clan is doing this, all just to prevent my suspicion. As he thought so in his heart, he said instead, great idea. Lady Bai Lian is truly pure-hearted, I am very amazed. No, I am flattered. Bai Lian smiled shyly, but smugness flashed across her eyes. The next day, at dusk, in the central tent, Bai clan leader stared at the rainbow smoke in the air tightly. In the smoke, an image appeared. In the image, there were 7 people. Other than Fang Yuan, Bai Lian and the 3, there were also 2 children, the Bai clan young masters. It seems Bai Gu mountain is very peaceful. We've moved for so long, and not encountered any trouble. In the image, Bai Sheng Jing spoke. Bai clan leader snorted out of anger. To protect them, she sent out a large number of Gu masters to pave the way, not leaving behind a single elder, all protecting them in secret. The reason Fang Yuan's group was having such an easy time, and encountering sporadic wild beasts, was because they were purposely left behind by the Bai clan Gu masters. In this 6 hours, Bai clan had sacrificed tens of outstanding Gu masters, and even 3 elders were injured. Among them, 2 were severely injured, falling unconscious and were on the way back to camp. But this was still Bai Gu mountain's foot, the more they ascended, the more danger lurked. Don't see how easily Fang Yuan and the others traveled, this was all due to the other Gu master's sacrifice of life and blood. Especially Bai Gu mountain, no one lived there, and it was a wild beast territory. To pave the way and explore, the price to pay was huge. Fang Yuan continued to ascend, and with Bai Lian's guidance, they arrived at Bai Gu back mountain. We have limited information, I do not know where to continue going. The sky is getting dark, maybe we should get back. Bai Lian purposely said. Since we're here, we might as well explore. Fang Yuan said instead. He looked around, trying to discern, like he was trying to find something. He started to lead them, according to his memories, he knew the inheritance ground was close by. Hey, can you at least try to pretend? Beside him, Bai Ningbing saw this and was screaming in her heart. Fang Yuan's behavior was already out of character. Bai Ningbing looked around worriedly, but what was strange was, be it Bai Lian, Bai Shengjing or the others, it seemed they could not tell anything, letting Fang Yuan search in silence. Good, this is it. It seems this place is very close to the spirit spring. In the tent, the clan leader said agitatedly. Fang Zheng, you are still too young. They entered the cave. Is the spirit spring inside the cave? The image flashed, showing the insides of the cave. Right when Bai clan leader was getting confused, someone reported from the outside. Reporting to clan leader, an investigative Gu master is back, bringing a Thai clan Gu master, they have important news to report. Chapter 220. Chapter 220. Turns out they were demonic scoundrels. Important information. Bai clan leader frowned. What could be more important than the spirit spring? Since it's not an emergency, let them wait first, she instructed before turning her gaze back to the smoke image. The image showing the situation in the cave. Fang Yuan and the group moved deeper into the cave, till they reached the end. This cave wasn't big. Bai clan leader was disappointed as she did not see the spirit spring. There was no way it could be in a place like this. It seems that we still need some time to find the spirit spring, Bai clan leader muttered. She swung her sleeves and kept the smoke back in, before saying towards the outside of the tent, call them in. The tent flap was opened. A fierce and vigorous investigative GU master walked in and bowed. This subordinate greets Lord Clan leader, I have an important news to report. There was a trace of anxiety in his voice. You captured a Tai clan GU master. Bai clan leader frowned slightly. Tai clan was a huge powerhouse which not even 10 Bai clans could match. There would be huge trouble if the matter was not handled properly. Bai clan leader was blaming the subordinate in her heart. This Tai clan GU master was like a bomb, he should have killed him secretly in the woods. Bringing him back to the clan would leave behind evidence and cause complications. This subordinate had received a mission, and while investigating the directions of the GUU remnants, I accidentally found a heavily injured GU master. I was suspicious at first, thinking he was a GUU clansman. But after healing him, he claimed to be a Tai clan GU master. And he told me a shocking news. Qingmao Mountain's 3 clans were completely wiped out. A mysterious demonic GU master managed to escape from the disaster, and the Tai clan mobilized their GU masters to pursue these demonic GU masters. The investigative GU master reported. What did you say? Bai clan leader was surprised, her heart jumped, and she started frowning. At this instance, Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing's images flashed in her mind. Are these 2 youngsters demonic GU masters? They didn't look like it. Especially when she thought about Fang Yuan's crying image at the banquet. How can such a person be a demonic GU master? How can you be sure this person is a Tai clan GU master? Bai clan leader asked again. This is the Tai clan token I got from his body. And his GU worms are also Tai clan's characteristic GU worms. The investigative GU master said while handing over a metal token. Bai clan leader received the token. She felt a cold sensation from the token. It was indeed the Tai clan token, but there is also a possibility that this person killed the Tai clan GU master and took the token as their loot. Maybe this person is trying to mislead us, he might just be the demonic GU master the Tai clan is pursuing. Bai clan leader thought of a possibility. In order to live, demonic GU masters obviously have to lie about their identity. The Bai clan leader had too deep of a preconceived perception. But no matter what, she would have to confirm it herself. She squinted and said, bring that captive here. Move. Soon, the tent was opened and a GU master was brought over. It was Tai Daoku. His hair was a mess and his face pale as he walked towards the Bai clan leader. Kneel down. The GU master behind kicked, and this strong-willed man grunted, kneeling on the ground. But he strongly resisted and tried to remain standing. Stay still. 2 GU masters behind him held each of his arms, forced him down. Tai Daoku struggling was to no avail. He shouted, I, Tai Daoku, will kneel to the heavens and earth, will kneel to my parents, will kneel to the clan leader, but do not humiliate me, or I'd rather die. Oh, great acting. Bai clan leader's eyebrows raised, but she just sneered and interrogated. Speak, you are a demonic GU master, how did you kill the Tai clan GU master and obtain this token? Tai Daoku was stunned, before spitting out some bloody phlegm. Spit. I am Tai Daoku of the Grand Tai clan, my name and surname will never change. Now that I've landed in your hands, do whatever you wish to me, but trying to frame me like this, isn't it too hypocritical? The phlegm did not land on Bai clan leader, as it hit an invisible wall in midair and fell on the ground. Bai clan leader's expression turned ugly. Tai Daoku laughed coldly. Our Tai clan is an expert in pursuing an investigation. Bai clan, you captured me and humiliated me like this, hee, you better decimate my corpse, and pray you are not found out. If not, haha, you shall face the wrath and revenge of our entire Tai clan. Bai clan leader sneered. You keep claiming to be a Tai clan GU master, but I've seen many Tai clan GU masters. Those who are below rank 5 would move in large numbers, and are extremely spirited and iron-willed. Not only are you traveling alone, just look at your state, you should act better if you want to pass off as a Tai clan GU master. Tai Daoku's cold sneering froze. Bai clan leader's words triggered the most painful memory in his heart. Back when they left Qingmao Mountain, all 9 of them were high-spirited, but now only he was left and the 2 as a prisoner. Sadness. Especially when he thought about how Tao Tian died, the huge regret and pity intensified his pain. Tao Tian was the Tai clan's fourth young master, with superior talent and a determined nature. There were many expectations placed on him since young. He was a strong competitor for the clan leader position, and was the future hope of the Tai clan. The intellect and talent he displayed made Tai Daoku see the future of the Tai clan in his hands. But, when that overwhelming explosion occurred, everything ended. It was too abrupt. Tao Tian, who was in the middle of the explosion, didn't even have time to activate his defensive GU before he was blown to bits. A generation's genius, the star of the future, died in such an obscure way. Not only Tao Tian, some others were affected as well and died in the explosion along with countless GU worms. There were only 2 people alive, both heavily injured. Tai Ku Dao was one of them. Back then he was at the back of the team, and because his skin had turned into bronze skin by his GU worm, he preserved his life. Another injured person had lost half his body, and in a short while, fell into a coma, eventually dying after resuscitation failed. Tai Daoku cried as he buried his clansmen. He had wanted to bury them separately, but most of the corpses were in pieces. Tao Tian was the most pathetic, only a palm-sized piece of flesh was left of him. He carried his extreme pain and grief, and built a tomb, cutting a huge rock and moving it there as a marking. Next, he investigated the explosion site. With his experience, he concluded it was the charred thunder potato GU. Almost 100 charred thunder potatoes, buried together. Without a doubt, this was a huge, devious, ruthless and extremely evil trap. Who would do such a wicked thing? Who set this trap? Tai Daoku thought about it hard, and felt that Fang and Bai were the most suspicious. Of course, he did not know their names or the exact info, but he understood that this culprit was most likely the demonic GU master they had been chasing. Too despicable, too vicious. Tai Daoku flew into a rage, his hatred as deep as the sea. Revenge, he must get revenge, and bring this demonic GU master to justice. Tai Daoku could no longer return to Tai clan. He was responsible to get to the end of the 4th young master's death. Furthermore, if he returned empty-handed like this, it would be a huge disgrace to his character. He had to continue the chase. His life had suddenly turned from colorful to gray. He wanted to kill the demonic GU master of Qingmao Mountain to vent his anger. Even if he could not, he wanted to give his all. Revenge, revenge, he shouted. He would not stop until he killed Fang and Bai. However, reality was cruel. His injuries could not receive proper healing, and in a few days, he suffered from a high fever and terrible headache. He also encountered beast group's attack, and barely managed to escape through the river. But without proper supplies, he still fainted in the end. When he was awake, he found that he was saved, but became Bai clan's captive. Thinking back, it was all a series of painful events. Tai Daoku kneeled in the tent with tears flowing out uncontrollably. Bai clan leader was amazed. Tai Daoku did not answer her questions and just kept on giving off a determined aura. This did not look like a fake identity, like a demonic GU master who wanted to live. Is this person really from Tai clan? Bai clan leader started to feel something amiss, the bad feeling in her heart starting to spread. She wanted to find out more details, but Tai Daoku did not reply and even closed his eyes. Bai clan leader's mind turned as she suddenly said, "Not long ago, our Bai clan entertained 2 GUU clan guests. They are 2 youngsters, one claiming to be GUU clan's young master." Before she finished, Tai Daoku opened his eyes abruptly. His once dead eyes started shining with radiance. Hatred, anger, joy, all sorts of complex emotions burst forth. He wanted to get up agitatedly, but was pushed down by the 2 GU masters behind him. He shouted, "It's them, it's definitely them. To think I met them here. 2 people, and even youngsters, HMPH, they must be the demonic GU masters that escaped from Qingmao Mountain." Tai Daoku did not know the situation on Bai clan. The investigative GU master only interrogated. There was no way he would tell him such information. Bai clan leader quickly asked, "If you are a Tai clan GU master, where are your companions?" Tai Daoku's attitude changed completely at this point. For the sake of revenge, he answered seriously, "They're dead." "Where did they die? Where are the corpses?" Tai Daoku's expression changed. "I cannot tell you this. The dead shall rest in peace. Even if you suspect me, I will not allow you to dig their graves." Bai clan leader's heart sank after hearing this. These were not words a demonic GU master would say. "Don't tell me." An intense worry grew in Bai clan leader's heart. She could not help but wave her sleeves, as a colorful smoke flew out and coiled around in the air, forming an image. Your clan's young master is in our hands, all of you get out now. In the image, Fang Yuan had already fallen through with Bai Clan, he was gripping Bai Hua and Bai Sheng's throats as he threatened. Bai Clan leader was instantly dumbstruck. After a few breaths' time, she flew into a rage, slamming the table in front of her into smithereens. She wanted to scream, turns out they were demonic scoundrels.